Okay. All right, you ready? All right.
I'm ready.
Okay.
What's up?
Okay. Here. I implying with the satellite that we're above it all, but we're not because we're in it with you guys. We're just far a fucking way on an island and shit. And the culture's a little bit isolated out here, but because of globalization and through the internet, we're all in this together. And it's the Way Out There podcast with Reese and DJ Zel. All right, how about that? Better than last week's.
It was better.
Right, it's
I
better.
missed the music. that intro reminds me of your what
Oh
is it?
shit. Too little,
Too
too late.
little, too late. So too little, too late.
Ah, shit. You know, I just realized I
What you
left
just
my
realized?
I left my coffee over there. It doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
It does it. It does it because we had all the time.
We had literally, yeah. We had this whole
we,
time when you were setting up, and I was watching, and I was like, man, what's he gonna do next? All right. So, what's up? I'm glad to see that. I mean, it's it's not just a dead fad yet that fucking the government is corrupt and is murdering people and fucking shit up. So
Before you
that's good.
continue, is it?
I honestly, it does feel like it's dying down, right?
I was just about to say, like, this week, it's the end of this week, and half the
Yeah.
people I saw posting are no longer posting. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like they think the job is done. They did some, like, internet petition sign up shit, and it's
Yeah.
like, all right, hashtag defund the police. And it is like, I did my part.
Yeah. It's like,
Like, I saw, wait, before you get, wait, I saw a post where they were like, yo, some of these protest pictures are starting to look like y'all mission pictures.
oh shit. Oh my god, man.
And I was just like, that's how I feel. Like, I don't
God
know why.
damn.
It's like, I
Like
hate, look,
you're visiting a world where yeah.
I absolutely hate when people post their picture. Like, whenever I see like a white chick in like a little African village
Yeah.
holding the little like African kids, I'd be like, don't post it. Like, there are some things what you share
Yeah.
with your actual friends. Instagram is not, unless everybody you know on your Instagram is people you would actually hang out with on a day to day.
Yeah.
Do not post that type of shit. Like, show that to your. I feel like there are pictures you should show to your friends. Like, if somebody came over to your house and they wanted to see a photo album, I don't know
Yeah,
people who actually ask to see photo albums, us
yeah.
besides grandparents and aunts and uncles and shit.
That shit
But
sucks.
like friends don't really give a fuck about your pictures unless they like, yo, you just got back from Africa. Let me see what you was doing over there. I
Yeah.
don't want to go on Instagram and see you post a video or a picture of you with some little 10 cent a day kid.
Yeah.
I don't want to see that picture. It's like you trying to prove something to the world. It's just really weird. I don't know if it's like, oh, I was with a 10 cent a day kid. Don't get me wrong. It's always a 10 cent a day kid. It ain't the fucking
We got some here,
developed.
man.
It ain't the developed like areas of Africa. There's a lot of developed
Yeah.
cities and countries in Africa where they don't worry about that 10 cent a day shit. But I'm talking about that Sunday afternoon 15 cent and you can feed this kid.
Yeah.
Well, I'm like, the fuck out of here, 15 cent a day. But everybody say that joke, but it's the truth.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's starting to look like that. It's really like it did. I'm not trying to toot my own horn,
Like that
but
there was a journalist who got fired from her job cuz that was a lady who took the drill from the guy. Like there's the photographer and then she like walks up and she's like, "Oh, can I use the drill?" And he's like rebuilding like the windows got busted out so he's putting like plyboard over the front. And like she borrowed it for a second and she's like, "Oh, thank you so much." You know, it's like that crazy shit. Cuz like when we went to the protest when we went to the protest fucking we're walking back and Ina was like telling her family she has like a group chat with her family. I don't have a group chat with my family. That's probably an issue. But uh she she was like,
it's
"Oh,
not.
I'm gonna take a picture for my siblings." I like I was like, there. She was like, turn around, let me take a picture of you. I was like, there is no fucking way I'm going to be walking here and pose for a picture right now, like in the middle of all this. I was like,
Thank you.
that would be the
Thank you.
most ridiculous. Like, I don't care who it's for. If like if someone's like if someone saw me taking a picture like that, like they're driving past and I was like posing for a picture with a Black Lives Matter sign, they would be perfectly within their rights to get out and police brutality me. Like
No,
fucking
not at all. But it'd be
they should
like
just beat the shit out of me, honestly.
you would get the
Uh,
side eye and you would be disinvited to the barbecue this year. You cool with me. You can come to my barbecues. I ain't saying you can go to every black person barbecue. You can come to
yeah.
mine. You
Well,
be disinvited this year. Like, you know what? You in timeout. He can't come to the barbecue. Don't bring a plate. Don't even look. If you drive by, don't even turn your head looking at the
yeah,
barbecue. We having fun. We function. You feel
yeah.
me?
Well, you know
But
what?
no,
This you're not allowed to use charcoal in this park. So I'm gonna go ahead and call the authorities. Okay. That was barbecue Becky or whatever.
I know. Yeah. Fucking hey, that's crazy. Look, man, I went to a protest not the day you did, but what was it, last Saturday? And I met up with a friend of mine, and like I know like she has good intentions. So I'm
Mhm.
not questioning her intentions at all. Like she's not one of the people who only posts now. Like almost every single time an incident has occurred, she's posted, she's tried to share her thoughts and feelings. I've
Yeah.
been to vigils and other protests and little like groups and stuff with her. And so I'm not questioning her like at all just because it's kind of pointless to do that with somebody who's always there. So
Yeah.
but she invited me to come to the protest because I was going anyway.
Yeah.
And I was gonna go by myself, check it out, participate for a minute, and then dip. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be there. And so I show up, and it's like her and her like six or
Mhm.
seven friends. None of like one woman is like mixed, so she's black and white. Oh, and we got to get to like that too on this. I definitely want to touch on that before we finish today. But one of the women is black and white, and the
So
rest
let
are
me
like
let me
all
add that to the list. So Denzel's against race mixing. So I'll write
no,
that
not at all,
down. That
not at
huh?
all.
Okay, this will be
I'm
the
not
clip.
against it.
Okay,
Fuck you.
you're not against it.
Listen, I am. You're not about to Dr. Umar Johnson me, okay? So,
Hey man, but
so
if you end up on Breakfast Club, that's good for both of us.
hell yeah. If I end up, look, my goal is to look. It's 3 interviews that I want to be on. I was just thinking this shit today.
Mhm.
It is Breakfast Club, Rogan, and who was the third one? Oh, I listen to this shit. I can't think about it, but I know Breakfast Club and Rogan are my top two. And then I thought of a third one, and I'm
Fresh
pissed that I
Air
can't.
with Terry Gross.
No,
The Denzel Allen on Fresh Air with Terry Gross.
who is it? Who's pot? Who like whose show slash podcast? It's like you made it when you're on this. And I'm not talking about Ellen. I don't want to be on fucking Ellen. That shit looks like it doesn't look fun. Like I don't care what nobody says. Like
Is
when I
it
watch,
Flagrant?
I can't even think. It ain't even Drink Champs, and I would love to be. I would love to be on Drink Champs. Don't get me wrong, but it's like,
Baller Daddy? Rest in peace.
yo, I'm. You read what happened with them, right?
Oh, yeah, I watched all the videos and stuff too.
Bruh, I listened to
Damn, I am shiny. Oh, we never talked about
Al-
this.
yeah, no, I listened to Alex talk about what happened,
Yeah,
and I was just like, yeah, I could have told you Sophia was no good when she fucking butt dialed. I was like, in the second episode, she was talking about butt dialing her dude's best friend while she was cheating on him. I was like, yeah, that's not a person you like. She did the shit 3 times. I was like,
yeah,
this isn't a person you want to be friends with. Like, what are you talking about? Look,
yeah,
I think personally, like I've never been in a relationship, but I would never cheat just because it's a loyalty thing. Like I got friends who have women that they didn't really fully date that I will never talk to because they had feelings for them. And I'm like, there's too many women in the world for me to ever try to fuck with somebody intentionally. Like if I didn't know you used to fuck with her, that's fair game.
yeah,
But if I knew, That's foul on my part. I'm just that dude. Like other people, like I don't give a fuck. Like it's just pussy, it's just sex. Like that's cool. If that's how your mind works, it's cool. That's your morals.
Yeah.
But when she said that shit, I was like,
Yeah.
I wouldn't tell nobody that I be cheated. Like that's
So
just the first thing you do. Like it's
so
I
this is
can't
one of the
question.
episodes you're gonna tell one of your lady friends to listen to, right?
Not at all.
I'm just
Not
kidding.
at, so
I'm just fucking around.
look.
But yeah.
Look.
Yeah.
Oh, we got a new listener. I am so pleased. I ain't
We
gonna
got
say
the
no next week.
we got a
We got
one.
a
We got a one.
we got one more. The more we get, the better.
After
One
I
by one.
fumbled those two after fucking up the posting order, changing the name of it, fucking
Yo, no,
damn dude. All
she
right. Yeah.
told me because I was telling you before, she was posting. I had never seen her post before, and like she posted something that was actually something that I like thought that everybody should be posting,
Yeah.
and I was just like, I just kept seeing a generic post like I'm with you, and I'll make a black square, and donate
Yeah.
to support local black businesses. I'm like, supporting local black businesses does not change the policies that are in place. Like it helps us, yeah, but it doesn't
Yeah.
fix the situation.
It's like
Like
a
black
band-aid.
businesses are not the majority. Like in any city where there's a majority of black people, black businesses are not the majority of businesses. It's corporate. Like I hate to tell people this, like people don't understand that there isn't hardly anywhere in America nowadays where you go to a neighborhood that all the businesses in that area are owned by that group of people because
Yeah.
it's about corporations and conglomerates. Like, look at Disney. Disney basically owns almost all of the media now, and they're
Yeah. Yeah.
still growing. Like, you're not competing with Disney if you're a local ass station or a local radio talk show. Like, you're not. Like, the only places that are independent that actually compete with major networks, I would have to say, is podcasting, honestly.
Yeah.
And
I
they're
mean
starting to fall
that's
by the
what
wayside.
that Rogan deal was about. The fucking
Yeah,
Spotify deal.
it was like, and his shit, Rogan is to podcast what Chance the Rapper is to rap.
He's subverting what you think is able to be done in it. Like, is that what you mean?
Like Chance is independent. Like he doesn't.
Yeah.
I think he might distribute like some of his stuff through labels, just through distribution deals. But I don't think
Yeah.
like he doesn't go through the A&R. He doesn't do none of that shit. And he's just as successful as most of the other. He's pretty. Look, when Beyonce recognizes you, and I don't even fuck with Beyonce like that. We
Yeah.
talked about this, but when Beyonce recognizes you, you hit another level. And
Yeah.
so it's just what it is when it comes
Yeah.
to celebrity and success. Like that's just is what it is.
Yeah.
And so Rogan did that with his licensing deal. Like he still get to do what the fuck he wants. Like it's not like Spotify can come and say, "Oh, you can't do this." So
Yeah.
luckily for him, that's his deal. They're like, "Oh."
I
So
was
yeah,
thinking
I
about
mean,
that today with Rogan. Was like he's not like known, but like his kind of brand is like making fun of like people who would like take pictures of themselves and present themselves. You know what I mean? Just like he's like an anti-influencer type guy. Would you say that?
I can't because this is the Fear Factor dude. Like I'm just gonna say, like he's Fear Factor. Like for me, I don't
Mhm.
watch UFC like that. So for me,
Yeah.
he's Fear Factor. And anybody that is a host of a television show, you're out there, bruh. You out
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
It's like I didn't know Howie Mandel was a stand-up comedian. Only
Well,
thing
that.
I knew Howie from was fucking Let's Make a Deal. Like I'm
Yeah. Yeah.
we're 20, we're 28, almost 29. Only thing we really know Howie. Well, you're a comedian, so you probably watch more clips, but
Yeah. I know Howie Mandel from everyone saying that he's a germaphobe on
that's it.
podcasts.
Like
That's it.
exactly. Like
I
I
didn't
know
even
Howie
watch Let's
from
Make a
Let's Make
Deal
a
and stuff.
Deal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look, Let's Make a Deal. Haley, case number 5. Oh my God. Or was it 15? Was it 15 or 5? I love that woman. Every episode she had an afro. Oh my God, she was so bad. Anyway, I can get sidetracked when I see beautiful women. That's my thing. That is my thing. I can get real sidetracked. What were we talking about?
No, all I was
I'm
really
just
saying
kidding.
was
I'm
was
kidding.
that
I'm kidding.
was that I perceive Rogan as that type of guy who's like the anti like make it about yourself thing, but he literally like 15 years ago revolutionized like he was like the first like social media guy. Like he had Brian Redband like constantly filming him, constantly posting clips of him like being active on the forum for him, It's,
Yeah.
it's just funny that it's just like hiring a guy makes it okay, but I guess it's been overdone at this point. Because I mean, that's
So
how we got all the footage of him versus Mencia, like that
like
legendary footage.
I first of all, when we talk about Mencia, did you hear about Trevor Noah? How do you feel about that? Did you hear about what's his name? Russell
Trevor
Peters
Noah and
talking
Russell
about
Peters.
yeah. How do you feel
Um,
about that? Like, cause that joke is kind of dead on the nose, and I didn't see any other jokes that he might have stole, but that one joke is kind of dead on the nose. Doesn't take away from how insightful Trevor Noah is and his life and everything and his other jokes.
yeah.
Doesn't take away, but that one joke, it ain't even that fucking funny. Like I
Has he
know,
addressed
like
it? I didn't even like.
I don't think he has, but I know Russell Peters be on everybody. So like, man, fuck Trevor Noah. Like, if he even mentions Trevor, like people mention Trevor Noah to him because he's an international comedian, just like
Yeah,
Russell Peters is. He be like, man, fuck Trevor Noah.
yeah.
Every time.
Maybe it was
So
like maybe it's like he did take it whole parts, and then like he just because like if
this one is a
I
little
were
dead on the nose.
if I was like at an open mic, I used to be so pissed. There used to be a comedian at there used to be one of the workers at the Jamaican spot that we used to do comedy at. One of the workers in the back would just do full Mitch Hedberg sets. Like he'd do full 3 minutes, crushing. You know what I mean? It's just like people are just out there eating, they're chilling. Suddenly, a comedy open mic is happening. One of the worst things you can do to a human being, by the way, is to suddenly have an open mic there with that no announcements. Just hey, what's up, everybody? I'm the host. This is an open mic. Let's go. I hope none of those come back after this. But
I do.
so
Y'all need it. Like you honestly need that random, like that random. Like, can I say one thing? Like I
uh
went to that show at Square Barrels.
huh.
I was going to go up, but then I saw some stripper friends of mine in the front, and I was like, oh no, I'm good. I don't look. They think I'm funny because I don't know if they think I'm funny or not. I don't know if it's the Hooter effect. Like you go in, like you know how you go on a Hooters. Oh, how you
uh
doing, sweetheart? And like touch you and like I don't know if when I go to strip
I got something
clubs
about yeah.
they actually like because I be making like remember how in the first episode I was talking about I had to like the stripper snorting. I know I had her laughing. Like that's different. I had her dying because she couldn't stop snorting, and that shit was not on purpose.
Yeah.
If she intentionally did that, she's the gamer of all gamers, and like I play that game any day. Like she got me.
Uh,
That's out of my league. But if not, I know that I'm cool and funny. But going on stage in front of them, I don't need y'all seeing me fuck up. Like if I fuck up, that's it. I was like,
yeah.
that's my reputation at the strip clubs.
I
Like,
can
oh,
never
that's
show my
that's
face
that
at
dude.
939 again.
Baller. Oh, that's that dude that thought he was funny.
Who? Oh, yeah.
I'm just saying, if I go up there,
Yeah,
I was like, nope.
yeah.
Like I
It's
said,
the
I
only one
hope,
not being approached.
yeah, I hope that it comes
Yeah.
back in full swing because I miss it. Like I miss watching y'all do y'all, cause
Yeah,
y'all
yeah.
be up there. I don't know. Like I'm not really into the. Oh, that's what we were gonna talk about. Without talking about it, fuck it. Let's talk about it because I don't like certain people. We're gonna talk about a comedian that left Hawaii. Are you going? Are you feel comfortable doing that?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Fuck
Okay,
yeah.
cool. Cause I don't. I got a problem. I'm about to like. I don't try to
I
unfriend
mean,
people,
we shouldn't have to
but I
preface
will.
this, but literally, she blows up. Like, if there's, it's obviously Victoria Arnstein. And
Yes, it's Victoria. That's who it is.
no
I'm not
matter
even gonna
how
front.
small you are, if you talk about her, she's either offended or like she posts in her stories all the time, like a single human being saying like thank you Victoria for being brave and saying the things that we can't, just fucking dumb pieces of shit. But and then she'll like post it all over her story again and again that
Like
like thanks, this is like, see, when you speak truth to power, people appreciate it. You know what I mean?
so, this was a great segue. So since we're talking about her, this can segue into almost all our topics we were going to talk about today.
uh,
So I have people on my Facebook who I went to school with, people I had just met on the street that were cool people. I don't know their political views. Like most people, like you don't know their political
Yeah.
views. You don't know because you don't. The first thing you do when you meet people, they're like, "Oh, let's exchange social media information, IG, Facebook, Twitter, whatever." The first thing you don't be like, "Oh, you want my IG? What are you, Democrat or Republican, conservative or liberal? You for black people or against?" You don't ask shit like that. You just
Yeah.
and then you start seeing their posts, and I'm like,
Yeah. It's like
"Oh,
they're
you fucking
quiet until.
racist."
Yeah. Yeah.
And I will straight up say like, you might not think. I don't know. Look, first of all, racism is one. They changed the. I think I just heard something about them changing the
Merriam-Webster. They just
definition.
changed it.
Yeah, finally, because people were trying to argue that, oh, if you don't like a race, like they didn't want to be called racist because you don't like a race. Like, no, that's prejudice and bigotry. Like, it's not the same definition. Racism is a system of oppression. And so with that, when you talk about race, you have to also consider, all right, am I a white person who is not helping the system? Like, am I helping it to oppress by not saying anything? And so you get lumped in with racist when people are telling you, get your knee off my neck. And not just, I'm going to not just talk about George Floyd, I'm going to say the system of oppression in America is America's knees on black and other like minority communities' necks.
Yeah.
And so we're saying, get your knee off our neck. And there you get these people who every fucking time some shit happens, they try to justify it by some means. And it's like, the bottom line is, these people should not be dead. I don't care how you want to describe it. This should not be happening. Like, there isn't, like, we haven't, I feel like some people feel like we hit a peak. Like, we're at this point in society because we're at the best. Like, honestly, I'm not going to front. Like, this is the best humanity has ever behaved towards each other, and I will
Yeah.
not deny that. I can't. It's progress. It's great progress. Like, it's not like we openly lynching and not getting away with it, like going to court and there's no chance in hell for you winning. Like, there are opportunities, even if they're not as many.
Wait.
There
Oh,
are
what? Sorry.
opportunities.
1 sec.
Mhm.
What's going on? Okay. Uh. Fuck. Can we? I'm gonna pause the recording real quick.
Cool. And how long will you be gone? Because I'm going to charge my phone. All right.
All right. Hopefully, we'll be able to edit together.
Cool. So people who always post, there are people who post on their social medias, and every single time one of these incidents happen, they're never on the side of the victim. Like, there's
Yeah.
always a, man, I ain't seen the whole video. I ain't seen the whole footage. I can understand that to a point, but
It's
when it's
immediate.
like when it's a
Like.
hundred of these
Yeah.
fucking videos, it's like, okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
maybe if it's 100 and you are always on the side of the cops, it's like, how like, it's not even brainwashing. It's like, you think out of 100 of these videos, all 100 are justified. All
Yeah.
100. Like, it comes to a point where you have to be like, look, I know you might not feel, you don't think this way, but you do. Like, the way you describe it is like, I was bowling. I was on like, one of our coworkers was on the bowling. Like, I used to sub on the team,
Mhm.
and the Kaepernick situation. Well, this is when Kaepernick was first kneeling, and the whole Kaepernick situation came up.
Yeah.
And I had to explain to them. I was like, that flag does not represent the same thing to you as it does to me.
Yeah.
Because when y'all see the flag, y'all think military. But when I see the flag, I think of, first of all, the national anthem is racist as fuck. Like, it is racist. People are like, oh, well, they don't sing the whole song. I'm like, so, like, what? The man don't wear his KKK robe around me, so it ain't as bad. Like, what are you talking about? Like, it's still a racist song.
Yeah.
It's a racist song. The flag that
It
people are like, oh, it
like.
represents our military,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? Let's talk about that. Let's talk about, in every single war America's ever had, there have been black people fighting that has helped turn the tide of every single battle. It
Oh, we should
wasn't
watch.
until,
We should watch the Five Bloods.
we will.
Yeah.
Look,
Yeah.
it wasn't until Vietnam, we started to get treated better. Now, imagine every single war up until Vietnam, we got treated like shit. Maybe Korea got a little better, but every single war, black people got treated like shit.
Yeah.
Fucking the divisions of the military were segregated. We talked about this in episode 4 when I talked about the Harlem Hellfighters. Like,
Yeah,
the
that's fucking
divisions of the
crazy.
military were fucking racist. And I say this all the time. We didn't go to war with the Axis. No, were we the Axis? No, the Axis is evil. That's how I remember.
The
Allied. We the
United,
Allied
yeah,
Axis.
the Allied
We
forces.
didn't go to war with the Axis because we felt so bad about what was happening to Jewish people. Like, think about this. The CIA are really good spies. Like, we knew what the fuck was happening to Jewish people.
Yeah.
And we stayed neutral like Switzerland until Japan came and fucked with us in Hawaii. Like, think about that. We didn't give a fuck about Jewish people. We
We
didn't
were
give a fuck about
funding both sides,
stopping
right?
Hitler.
We were
Exactly.
selling.
We were selling weapons. We were neutral selling
The
weapons
war
to both
machine.
sides. Like,
Yeah.
Like, we didn't give a fuck about stopping Hitler. It wasn't about, oh, Hitler's tyrannical and evil, we gotta stop him. No,
Yeah.
we didn't care. We didn't care who
We're
won
not giving
until we
Hawaii
got
to
fucked
you.
with.
Like, don't come over
Exactly.
this way.
It was like, look,
Yeah.
y'all don't fuck with us. We good. Y'all saw what we did in World War One. You know we can bring it again. We gonna stay chill. Just don't fuck with us. You fuck with us, watch what happened. We ended shit. Like, that's what happened.
Like,
That's a very simplified way.
As soon as Goebbels found out about Pearl Harbor, he's like, ah, fuck. We stepped in the fucking shit this time.
Yeah, like, oh shit. And it was like,
God
damn
it.
And then, like, think about that. Germany was so advanced. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, technology wise, they were advanced as shit for World War II. And then we fucked shit up. Germany was like, oh yeah, no, we taking over all of Europe. They was winning. And then it was like, y'all did what?
They
y'all
were like,
fucked with who?
They
like,
were
no,
a new country, right? Like,
Who?
I don't think I've ever confirmed this, but like Germany was like recently put together, and that's why they were like working so
let's
hard
go.
to
Let's
be
go. I'm with it.
nationalists. Yeah,
No,
yeah.
so let's go. So you've heard of Prussia, right?
Yeah.
And the Holy Roman Empire.
Uh-huh.
And there's a joke that people like to say the Holy Roman Empire was neither Holy Roman or Empire. It's a joke. But anyway.
Democratic People's Republic of
Prussia was
Korea.
a combination of part of Russia and Germany and the states in between, like countries that are now there in between.
Yeah.
And they broke off a couple 100 years before. Not 100 years, but like a couple, like 60-something years before, I think. And so Germany as a whole wasn't a like actual country until like the 1800s.
Yeah.
And so, like, relatively speaking, like when you got countries like England and like even America had been America since before Germany. And so Prussia broke off and became Russia and Germany and the countries in between. I call them states because they're really small.
Yeah.
But so it wasn't always that way. But what happened after losing in World War One, Germany, like, first of all, they were poor. They weren't, like, a lot of people were out of work, and they had just lost. So they had a lot of casualties. Men weren't working. And the idea of socialism was like socialism, communism, and Marxism was like all the rage because you had these like industries popping up like that had never really existed. Like you had monarchies, but now you had industries that were like
people weren't just making like food and clothes; they were making like cities.
Exactly. You had these industries pop up where like this is the Industrial Revolution, where it went from most people were free doing their own shit. They might have got taxed and everything, but it wasn't. We worked fucking 12-hour days minimum every day, children, men, and women, and then we don't have any, like, we don't have enough to eat, and these motherfuckers are getting rich off of it. It was basically for them a form of damn near indentured servitude. Like they actually did have indentured servitude. Like people would sell their orphans in the UK to workhouses, and so you got this place where it's like, yo, ain't all this shit fucked up? Like, if everybody was treated equal, wouldn't it feel better? And so nationalism and socialism is literally what Nazi stands for. That's what it is. It's Nazis are socialists. The Z is supposed to like sound like the S, but that's what it's for. It's socialism. And so that's why I have a problem with socialism. I was telling you earlier about this woman that I was talking to. Not talking to like that, but I had a conversation with her on the beach, and she was asking me about the Marxist papers, and I was like, yeah, I read them, but I know. She's this 19-year-old who's about to graduate.
Yeah.
Like, she's about to graduate early. Like, she's focused. First of all, she told me my life was sad.
Give me 1 second again.
I know exactly what was that.
Okay. I just press record.
Cool. And so she was telling me that my life was sad, and I was like, sad. First of all, she was like, "Oh, communism is the best," and I was like, "Mm-mm," because she was trying to tell me like China is great. Korean girl,
Well,
by the way, was trying to like half Korean, half white, and she was trying to tell me like China is great, and I'm just like, I haven't been there. I don't know if America spends propaganda. Like I tell people this all the time. I don't know if America is spending
yeah,
propaganda like China's spending propaganda to tell us that China sucks when it comes to
yeah,
freedom of speech. But also, I don't know if China is doing the same. Like I can't say that, so I don't know. I don't actually live there. I've never seen it. I don't feel like I'd fit in even if I could speak the language. But
yeah.
I mean, I just know that certain shit isn't available on the internet over there. But that's as far as I know outside of actual like Mao, what's his name? Mao Zedong.
Yeah, Maoism.
Yeah, outside of him, I don't know much about
The river
current,
dude.
and so I can't really say much. But she told me my life was sad, bro.
Well, uh,
Like this is why
is
she
it
told me.
is it because you're historically disenfranchised and your ancestors' labor was used to make the American dream at their own expense, or is
No,
it
has nothing to do
because
with the black experience. She was saying my life, Denzel's life, DJ Zel.
yeah,
No, because I told her like she was like, "Oh, you went to school?" I was like, because she was telling me, because like I said, she was a young chick,
yeah, yeah,
19, about to graduate. She was telling me how she's going straight to law school as soon as she graduate early
uh-huh.
from school, and she's going to change the world. Blah blah blah. It's like she's like, I'm just focused, and I stay focused, and I can. She seems ditzy, but the chick is actually pretty smart. Like
That
one
woman's
of those,
name?
huh?
That woman's name? Alexandria Ocasio Cortez. So think
Yeah.
about that,
So
everybody.
she was telling me, I told her like, yeah, I went to school, I got a biology degree, and she's like, oh, so what do you do now? I'm like, I'm a mailman, I DJ. And she's like, oh, so you what is that what you wanted to do? I was like, no. Like, oh, that's sad. And I was like,
Bitch.
no, like, and I wanted to be like, fuck you, but like, I know she's
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
It was
yeah, yeah.
so because I'm
That's the
like,
same thing whenever Caleb says, I want to be a mailman and a comedian just like you. I'm like, nah, you
shoot
can
higher,
aim higher. Yeah.
higher.
How do I teach
So,
you that I'm not right? You know, like
you can't till you get older. Not right now.
yeah,
You
yeah.
still gonna be Superman. When he hit like middle school, it'll be like, all right. So I did
I mean,
okay.
that's the same.
I
I think
wanted to
that's probably
do
the same reason that I didn't do great in college. You know what I mean? It's because like my dad didn't have a college degree and he was happy fucking taking tourists out on Conway Bay. You know?
yeah. My dad had like has an associate's degree, and that's it. And he worked for years with a company. He was a supervisor and everything, and then that company went out of business.
Oh
And
shit.
so right when around the time everybody was getting laid off, I remember like it was weird
Oh
because like
yeah,
those people
because that's like
that
a something that happened in Detroit, right? Is that
right before, no, this was before
shit
the
got taken
recession.
away? Oh okay.
So it happened right before the recession, and he found a job like
Mhm.
during, like before it, and so he still had a job. But it was just weird because I remember going to the company picnics and all this shit. A bunch of white people too, out in the way. Like it was all that. It was fun. It was fun shit, and it was just like it's weird because as a kid, it's like there's a shift. Like your worldview starts shifting a little bit because of that. Like you see somebody who always like had a steady, like he had been working there for 20 something years,
Yeah,
and he got laid off before he could retire because the company went out of business, and it was like
yeah,
the rug had got swept under him, and it was really weird. Like my dad handled it, like I didn't see him like spiral or nothing personally,
yeah.
so but I feel like he handled it well. At least he showed me that he was handling it well, and I respect that because like right now I couldn't imagine like being out of work because I was working somewhere for 20 years and then got fucking laid off with no retirement plan, no like nothing. You don't get shit now. Like you were this close to getting the pension and all that other bullshit. But, so that was weird.
That's crazy. And
So
I mean,
hell no. First I just got a message about the strip club. $400 for a room.
I I don't have any context for that, but
No, that's a
fuck
hell
that.
no.
Okay.
That's a no. I go in there, I might spend two.
Well,
I might spend two. That's it. Like, think about it. I go like
all
once
right.
every
We're
other
not
week.
doing this in person anytime soon.
I'm like, fuck that. No, we're good. I'm gonna wait till this shit opens all the way back up. We're good. I'm like, for $400, I'm one of those people.
Yeah.
I don't. You'll be fine. There's some John. I call him John. Some tricks out there who are gonna pay $400 for you to make it and like talk to him. I'm not that dude.
Marks.
I'm
Yeah.
not. I get it. I'd rather like mess around with a chick who I find unattractive and honestly like that's what I'm just gonna say unattractive because I'm not
That's communism. You're describing communism.
and like do it for free with somebody who I would never like brag about or show out to other people. Just because like I know it sounds sexist, but I mean like we've all hooked up with somebody. I don't know about you, but we've all no, no, I think we've all hooked up with somebody who we were embarrassed of. Like let's be real, men and women, we've all done it. So I'd rather like hook up with somebody I'm embarrassed of than pay $400 for you to like what get naked. I got porn. I'm cool. Like I'm not like I hope they still get their money. Like there's enough dudes that will still want to pay $400. Like, it'd
once I
be
get
different.
once I get this
It'd be
Oculus,
different
it's
if they
over for
weren't
you bitches.
like it'd be different if there were a bunch of women. Like there weren't a bunch of dudes who were willing to pay $400 for this fucking room. But
Yeah.
I'm not paying for. But apparently anything go down in the champagne room. So I'm like, oh honey, my nah, I'm good.
So since
But
you
yeah, we got off track. Sorry, that text.
no, yeah, yeah.
The whole
since
thing.
since we're
Oh,
I think that communism is an idealist set of politics, and that unfortunately, like it always feels like there's one side that's very realist and one side that's very like idealist. And obviously, if we could all fucking work together to make something happen, it would be awesome. But there's always like shit. I can hide and eat extra piece of chocolate for myself and my family, and that just fucking like Kurt Metzger's got a very funny bit. Kurt Metzger's a funny guy. He does it with that dude who does like the face swaps, the Caitlyn Jenner and Donald Trump, Kyle Dunnigan. He's been writing with him for that stuff. But he has a bit about like you guys know why the banks are so fucked up and they steal so much stuff. It's like you know how when you play Monopoly, the banker always kind of like steals a little bit of money for himself.
hell yeah, I'm always the banker.
And
Trust me, that's how
and
I gotta be the banker.
yeah, you know how you're willing to steal from your family in order to make the game go easier for you. Now imagine that it's real money and that it's to support your own family, and no one can imagine what like no one can obviously that's why shit's fucked up is because we let a bunch of people be the banker and they get to hold on to extra money and shit. Anyway,
Yeah, I'm with
yeah,
it. That's the
yeah,
role. Like I tell
yeah.
people when I play Monopoly, like I'm gonna take some money from the bank myself. It's literally what the bank
Yeah.
does. Like the bank owes
This
your
is
money.
interest.
No, literally, that's what the bank does.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
bank owes your money and then does other shit with your
Plays with it.
money to make more
Yeah,
money.
yeah, yeah,
Like if everybody took their money out the bank would not be able to cover the amount. If
yeah,
everybody that's a member of that bank, the bank would not be able to cover that amount. That's what happened
yeah,
in
yeah,
the depression. Everybody started pulling their money out of the banks. The banks weren't one large system connected
yeah,
to each other. So
yeah,
it
yeah,
fucked the whole economy. Think about
yeah,
that. If you took your money out the banks right now, if everybody did that, the banks would be fucked because they don't have the money. That's why they have
yeah,
to be federally insured
yeah,
to up to a certain amount. They put it to 250,000 because most average people don't have 250,000 in savings. So if you put 250,000, like, all right, this is telling the bank if you have 100,000 members, you gotta have 250,000 for 100,000 members. That's got to be your minimum. Now, if you got more than that, and you lose that amount, whatever.
yeah,
But imagine if everybody came for their money.
yeah,
And that's saying minimum. Not everybody got 250,000, so they already know that you're federally insured up to that.
yeah,
So if I got 20,000, somebody else got 100, somebody else got 500,000. Imagine having 500,000 in the bank, one single bank, and they tell you, "Oh, sorry, we're going out of business. We can only give you half of your money."
yeah. Speaking of losing money on stocks and shit, but I obviously I want to do this live one because it's always better to to someone else live, and it's always fun to talk to you live. And also Zoom is because did you hear this that they're not encrypting if you were using the free Zoom? Now I'm paying for Zoom, so this is encrypted, but fucking that you're allowed to just like that's quartering. That's the Fourth Amendment, right? Is for them to just be up in your shit. And
Quartering is for military soldiers in houses, so it's like
but wasn't that the argument about the Patriot Act? Is that them being inside of your business and information?
it is, but it's not. Like there's a difference. I feel like one, there's a reason why the amendments are amendments. Like it's like you have to amendments. I said add amendments. It's like you have to change them over time.
Yeah.
Like imagine if, like, because we live close to military bases. Imagine if they was like, yo, this Marine right here, he got to stay here before some shit go down.
Damn, dude.
Staying in your house.
Yeah.
If he's staying in your house, what you like? He's gonna use your facilities, your water, all that, and you're not getting paid. You're not getting compensated for that.
Yeah.
And so during the revolution,
literally, there's a whole real estate boom in
there were
Kailua
British
because of
soldiers
that.
that was like, yo, you're gonna have to let me stay here because you're part of the British Empire. You're a colony.
Yeah.
And so you guys have to let me stay here or else. And so that shit shook them so much. Think about that. They put it in the Constitution. That's some shit we have never had to deal with since the revolution. Why the fuck is that still there? Like, yo, just in case that shit ever happens again. We're at a point in society where that shit's never happening again, but that's still there.
Yeah.
I'd rather just keep that in the side. Just like it's cool. It's a cool little thing, but when it comes to the Patriot Act, like you're not quartering. Like that's not housing people. Them stealing your information isn't them housing actual people. Because the Patriot Act, imagine you don't have no landlines. You don't have a computer. You don't have a phone. Like you're out in the wilderness and all your neighbors are out in the wilderness. You living on a commune. Patriot Act can't fuck with you.
Yeah.
But if you're living on a commune and they say, oh, we're gonna put some Marines or some soldiers or some sailors, whatever, some airmen in your house, and you got to deal with it. It can still fuck with you physically. So I can't say that quartering is the same thing as invasion of privacy, which is what the Patriot Act does allow.
Yeah.
But I will say that it's a weird ass law now because it doesn't fit society. Like we don't have wars where we need to, like, nobody comes to American soil anymore.
Yeah.
We're too defended. So it's not like we have an invading force on our soil. So we don't need to quarter soldiers. It's now it's an unnecessary law.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah. Let's get into. I have a quick story. On.
You say your story first.
Yeah. Because you said we're mailmen.
But we were talking about before we continue. We were talking about I'm gonna segue us back. So we were talking about the people posting online. Every time you post online, and you say, "Oh, but I need the whole story." Oh, well, this person did this. Fucking
everybody. People said it already, but everyone who saw the George Floyd thing and said nothing, and then said, "But why are we looting?" Like that type of willful ignorance.
It's like you have to understand. Like for me, I try to tell people, like, I don't agree with rioting and looting. I don't, because I work hard for my shit. Like, I don't agree with it. But at the same time, I've been mad and blew up. Like, I don't know a person who hasn't at some point in their life get mad and blow up. And when you get that mad, like, I can understand it. Like, I don't agree with it, but I don't condone it, but I understand it. Like, personally, like, I want to go and fuck shit up, but I haven't because
I can't picture what it's like to be paycheck to paycheck, and for like 3 whole months getting that just a $1,200 check from the government. Not to pick on people who didn't get that because they didn't.
They got taxes. Like some people got more than that. Not everybody did, but there are people who got unemployment. Like I'm like, look, I'm with the conservatives on the right and the Republicans on this shit. There are people who got unemployment, who got more money on unemployment than they were working.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
people like us didn't even get hazard pay. So we still get the same, and these people get extra. They're talking about $600 a week plus they $1,200.
yeah. Well, I mean,
That's 600. So
if
I
if
mean,
if that's the issue, we should be upset at the fucking corporations who got $1 billion worth of bailout for
and
a month and a half.
that went into effect April 1st. So imagine you started getting unemployment April the 1st. It is
Yeah,
now what, June the 12th.
yeah.
That's a whole 2 months of $600 a week. So you telling me these
I
people
heard
that
it
made
was $1,000 a week.
4,000 is 600.
Okay.
So these people that made, I don't know if it like changes whether you got kids. I don't know about that, but I know these people at the minimum. I know for sure. I've heard 600 a bunch of times.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
say we're doing 600. Let's lowball it. 600. You done made $4,800 in 2 months for not doing shit, plus
yeah,
$1,200 depending on how many kids you got and shit. Like you done made 1,200 plus 4,800. You done made $6,000 in 2 months.
yeah. And then you flew up to Vallejo and blew it all. That's
And
what
people like
Rayo just
you and
fucking
me,
did.
people like
But
you and
yeah,
me still have to work, and we
yeah,
didn't get no extra.
yeah,
Like we
yeah.
got that 1,200. That's it.
Well, did
And
you hear about
so
the stories where people are owed back their hazard pay? Like certain people got like $1.50 extra per hour, and then the companies not only took it away, but like are having them owe it back to them in like automatic withdrawals. It's fucking crazy.
yeah, no, that shit. I don't look. My thing is this: I want those people to get what they got on unemployment. I do, but
Yeah,
I also want to get hazard pay. Like,
yeah.
shit doesn't make sense to me. Like, everybody that's still working,
Why isn't there an immediate argument because people are being like put off on unemployment that they're getting paid more? Why isn't this being added to our existence?
see, here's my thing. I feel like this is why I kind of like communism and socialism just a little bit because capitalism is greedy as fuck.
Yeah.
Imagine being a person, right? Just as a person. Let's just talk about this way. Not talking about actual corporations. Imagine being a person who has more than everybody around you. You're in a village. Let's call it a little village.
Mm.
Everybody around you is struggling like fuck, and you got everything in your. You got so much that you don't even need extra.
Mm.
You got so much that you can't even use it all. Why the fuck aren't you dropping prices? Think about that.
Yeah.
Nobody has dropped prices. Like inflation continues to go up. Why isn't like all around the world these prices should be dropping? I should not be paying more for a car in 2021 than I did in 2020 when there was a fucking economic crisis. Like, yo, matter of fact, the cars in 2020 should be cheaper than the cars in 2019, 2018, 2017, 2016.
Yeah,
That
because
shit,
there's
they don't give
an
a fuck about
infinite
you.
amount of them at this point.
Think about that. They have so much excess. These companies have excess. And
Mm.
I think D.L. Hughley said it best.
With
People,
empty houses, like yeah,
everyday people live paycheck to paycheck. Corporations live bailout to bailout
yeah.
nowadays. And I'm talking more bankers than anything. I'm
It's
not even
being
talking about like,
artificially inflated. Like every time that they have to prove that the money exists, like same thing with the banks. Like it seems like every time they have to prove that the money exists and it's not just stuck in fake options and bonds and stuff, that they're like, oh, we don't have it. Like, can you bail us out for it?
it's really weird. Like looking at that, like as a company, how can you raise your prices knowing
Yeah,
that people didn't make no money?
yeah,
Knowing that people got hurt, like how did you raise your prices up during this time? How do you continue to like there should be like a halt on all prices. Like if you wasn't making enough to get by before,
yeah,
like there should be like no increases on your rent. Like rent should like not go up. People's rent are still gonna go up for next year from what they
yeah,
were this year. Like, think about that. Like
yeah,
when do you say enough is enough?
yeah,
Like when is like there's a level of capitalism that I just do not agree with. And I'm like, you see the motherfucker with the yacht and the boat and the private jets and the private islands, and you want that. You want the excess, but it's not necessary for life.
yeah.
I had a conversation with a friend.
Like, what's the level? Like, how do we like equalize at least livable levels for everybody?
I had a conversation with a friend, and he tried to convince me that women and money are the main motivators for everything in life. And I was like, so what are women's like? My argument was, so what's women's motivation? Is it men and money, or is it just money by itself?
Girls
He
don't
tried
like boys. Girls like cars and money.
like
he tried to tell me that everything I do, down to the way I dress, is based on like women's approval, and I'm
Like
like,
trickle down from the top. Hey man, streetwear is dead, and I just need to point out that ally or not, I donated more than Virgil. So
okay.
anyway, sorry.
I was just telling him,
I
like,
just needed to shoehorn that bit in.
I was like, there are other motivations in life besides money. It's things that matter besides money that money can't buy. There's a reason that money can't buy you love. Like there's certain things that need, and I was trying to explain that to him, but he's like, it all comes down to money and like money and women at the end. I was like, bro, I don't read books for women. I read it for myself. I don't read half of these books for money. Not talking about all my investment books that I be reading, but like I don't read Baldwin for money. I don't read that to get fucking wealthier. I read it for myself, for my own. Like, I don't read Baldwin. Like I don't read Baldwin.
Bro, I read Baldwin for the pussy.
Exactly. Like get the fuck out of here. Baldwin is like
go tell it on him. All right.
You're not about to disrespect the OG like that.
Yeah. No, it's just, that is a funny idea.
I know.
Have you ever seen that picture of a dude on a subway and he's reading two books at the same time like this?
Don't get me wrong. There are enough men who read books. First of all, there are men who do shit that I question because it's like this is a joke I'm trying to work on about guys and what's it called? Astrology.
Mm-hmm.
Not astronomy, but astrology. Like, when the last time you walked up to like a dude walked up to you was like, man, what's your sign? That's why you act like that. You never hear guys say that shit to each other, right?
Astrology doesn't exist in the reverse Bechdel test.
It's like when you look back, it's like women be like, oh, let me what like I had women ask me what time I was born. And then they sent me like shit like my star chart. I have a couple women do this. I try to act like it's never happened before every time it happens.
Yeah.
And so they asked me like, oh, what day were you born? And what's your sign? And I'd be like, the fuck does that have to do with anything?
Yeah.
This shit is all made up. Like, only women talk to you about their sign. Like, dude, back in the 70s, it was a cool thing to do. Like, yo, what's up? I'm Denzel, and I'm a Libra. Like, it'd be like you walk up to women like that. That's how you used to hit on women. No lie.
That was the thing. That was
a thing. Like, you could hear it in, like, it was a black thing. I know for sure it was a black thing. It was, like, in songs and shit. There's a whole song by
the name, bro. What's your sign?
Called Going, hold up. Going by the stars in your eyes. It was talking about, like, the whole line is, I don't give a heck about the old zodiac. Like, that was like, fuck your sign. Like, I'm going by the stars in my eyes. And it was really cool because it had to be like, Cancer, Aquarius, Virgo. It's like, like it's a cool ass song. The Dramatics are like one of my favorite R&B groups.
Yeah.
But okay, so I feel like we have segued a fuck ton from what we were trying to.
I mean, it's a good conversation.
It's a really good conversation. It just flowed.
Good thing I paused and drank some coffee. But
let's get into the shits now. So we were talking about certain. Oh, you had a story. Sorry.
Yeah. So as you mentioned before, we're mailmen. Don't get us fired, everyone. But so you posted, and you used for a while you were listening to a lot of Baldwin as you were like loading the truck, and I would like come over and you were listening to it, and I was like, cool. But I I never pursued it myself. But in light of this whole thing, and then you posted that really good Tupac speech of the Nation of Islam. So I started listening after that. I started listening.
That's what it was. It was Tupac. That was the other thing. That was the other thing. It was Tupac.
Okay, cool.
Go ahead.
So and then so I was listening to Baldwin, and then that transitioned to listen to some Malcolm stuff, some Malcolm X stuff, and I was listening to this interview with him at UC Berkeley, I think, and the interviewer was black. I forget who he was. Obviously, that's an issue. But
that's not an issue. I don't remember. I've seen it, but I don't. It's cool.
It was like interviews in like the early '60s, right? So like that there obviously there. And you told me that this is fine outside of, and I still feel weird about it for whatever reason. But they use the word Negro a lot, obviously.
Yeah.
And whoever the interviewer was, he had a very white voice. I don't know if that was because he was trained as a journalist to have himself etched out of whatever voice he was using, so I was listening to it, and I was delivering up somewhere where women sit around in a lounge waiting to get waxed, and there was a black woman in there. So I'm walking past. I'm a mailman. Obviously, I present as very white, besides the fact that I am very white. And fucking the interviewer is presenting a counter argument, like what the critics have been saying about Malcolm X. And he's like, "What do you have to say about like the the Negro problem and stuff?" And I like walked past and I was like, "Oh shit!" Like I was like, and you said the funniest thing that was like, you should have pointed at your phone and be like, "No, it's Malcolm. I'm on his side. Sorry."
Exactly. You should have been like, "Yo, I'm listening to Malcolm debate this fool."
Yeah. And
But
I was like,
in order to hear him debate, you gotta listen to the nonsense. Like, you should have said some cool shit like,
yeah.
"Yo, this motherfucker don't know who he talking to. It's Malcolm X." What kind of evidence just walked away?
Like what you and it's Ray I guess we're talking about how people are suddenly going up to you and being like extra cool. People
No. It was Dana. Two of my cousins are mailmen.
Oh, sorry, that's a different guy. Whoops.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. You all look the same to me. I'm just kidding, but
I hope so. I mean, we're related. So no, we don't look alike at all. Never mind.
What's it called? That I almost like was like extra like I almost waved extra hard to the the FedEx guy who drives around.
Oh, you're the one with the dreads?
Yeah. I was almost like I just waved like normal. Like, why would I do that? Like my instincts were like it's that thing too. Is like I point out my phone and like, oh no, I'm not openly anti-black. I'm actually one of the liberals who pretend to be pro-black, but doesn't do anything in his day-to-day life.
Oh shit! Yo,
that was what Malcolm X is like. One of the whole sections of it was that like there's also people who say that they're on your side, but are inclined to that two wings of the same bird idea of like it's the same system. Like
my cousin Sean was the first person I heard say it. Not saying that I've never heard that it's all one system. Like I've heard it, but the way he says it, I say it all the time. I say it verbatim the way he said, left wing, right wing, it's all part of the same bird. Yeah. That's the one way I say it all the time. I'm like, I used to say like Democrats, Republicans, it don't matter. It's still America.
Yeah.
Like I had a conversation with somebody and it was like, I've seen Republicans do anti-racist things, and I've seen Democrats do racist things, and then Democrats try to portray themselves.
Like first of all, where fucking yeah,
yo, that shit that's the shit I'm talking about. They be fucking pandering so hard. They pander so goddamn hard.
One of like a comedian I really like, Nick Mullen. He's selling a shirt now that like immediately after that, like I guess he went out and designed it and set it up. But it's like in like the 90s like De La Soul like album art thing, and it says I'm not racist anymore. Like with all like the African like design and stuff.
I'm like,
it's like Jesus Christ. That was the craziest thing.
I have a problem with politicians because they talk a big game, but once they get in there, they try to stay in there because they get money from the lobbies. Like they make money from lobbyists. Yeah. And so they don't try to upset the lobbyists, the corporations, but like if you're willing to put on that fucking pandering ass act of wearing a kente cloth and kneeling, then when Colin Kaepernick kneeled, your ass should have been vocal the whole time he was like fucking on the sideline. I should have heard something from your mouth every fucking day, like, yo, I'm with him, fuck that, fuck president, fuck everybody, blah blah blah. I'm out like every day. Like, don't pander to us now. That's not what we need now. Like, first of all, I hate telling people this. It sounds really weird. I'm not African. I'm like 8 generations fucking removed. I have respect for the motherland. I want to go to the motherland more than anything. Like when I hear people say, I want to go to Italy, I want to go to fucking Paris, I want to go to the UK, Germany, China, see the Great Wall. I still want to go to Bali. That shit looks sick. Don't get me wrong. But I want to go to Africa. I have list of places in Africa that I actually want to go to.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, but I'm not African. I'm African by descent. The same way, if you've been here for 6 generations and you white, you're not English no more. You're American. I'm American just like everybody else.
Yeah.
That's what, like, when you listen to Baldwin, he says that, and that's why I like Baldwin, because he said a lot of shit that I had already said for years, and I never knew that a motherfucker said that fucking 70 years, 67 years ago.
Yeah.
And so that's what really put me on the ball when he said that. I was like, yes, I hate telling people, like, I say I'm black because black is an identity.
Yeah.
That I was ascribed to.
Yeah.
I tell people that, like, I was ascribed to the identity of black. I wasn't like, it was not like I picked it. Yeah. I was like, by birth, by my my phenotypic traits.
Yeah.
I present black. That's what it is. Like, you can't be like, oh no, you look white sometimes. Like, oh, today is Tuesday, you look Asian. Like, no, I'm fucking black all day, every day, till the day I die.
And you're black in America, like, in a way that's irreversibly.
I'm so far removed from Africa, I can't tell you my tribe. I can't tell you the region. I can't tell you the language, the culture, the history, none of that. And so I can tell you all about America all day, every day. I can tell you about some parts of Africa that I know the history of, but it's not my ancestral history.
Yeah.
And so,
dude, I was thinking about that when we listened to
you ain't gonna wear kente cloth to represent black people in America. We still black. Like, it's weird. Like, black is an identity, and y'all just showed y'all whiteness so hard right there. Like, y'all look like y'all was going to, like, Charlamagne said they look like they was going to Black Panther 2 release party. Like, for real. Like, that's like, you look like you were like, what the fuck were y'all thinking?
Cosplaying. Like, it really, like,
y'all just proved the point that y'all pander for us but don't help us. Y'all try to make us, y'all placate us. It's like Democrats placate to black people. They like, oh, we with y'all, we got y'all, but when the shit go down, it's like, we don't know about defunding. How about passing a bill that nobody's gonna pay attention to? How about that?
Like
let's let the Republicans slip some shit in too. Like, we're not fighting until we get exactly what the fuck we want. No, let's let them slip some little shit in, that like little caveat that allows them to get away with shit too. Or vice versa, like Republicans and Democrats, they do the same shit. Like, Republicans want some diehard shit, and they'll let the Democrats slide some shit in that they don't agree with. Like, I don't give a fuck about both parties personally. Like, it's
crazy. It's crazy how obviously it's an oligarchy, and like that it's become to the point where it's like, let's just pass whatever the lobbyists need, and then whatever makes our contingencies like fucking satisfied for the moment. Like, what's a good reading headline, you know?
So you saw I Am Not Your Negro, right? By Baldwin. Yeah. First of all, before we talk about the actual documentary itself, I mean, this is part of the documentary. Can I just say, it wasn't until halfway through that I knew for sure that was Samuel L. Jackson narrating.
Yeah. I thought it was James Baldwin. He kept saying I.
It was Samuel.
I'm just kidding.
First of all, Samuel L. Jackson's 70 years old.
Really?
Yes, he's 70 or 71 now. He's either like 70 or 71. Like, he does not look it at all.
Yeah.
But second, I never heard him whisper or talk that low for that long without raising his voice. And he raised his voice like while he was reading to accentuate something. I'm like, oh, that's Samuel. But for the first 30 to 40 minutes, I was like, is this Samuel L. Jackson? I don't know. It sounded like him. Should I look it up? I don't want to look it up. I'm going to wait to see if I can tell. And I was like, yeah, it's him. And then I looked it up afterwards.
Yeah.
But what were your thoughts? First of all, did you know who Medgar Evers was before the interview? I mean, before the show, the movie.
Yeah. So you were saying that, and no, I didn't know who Medgar Evers was before that.
Yeah, like
I was like you know, like 3 points make a plane, you know. So I was like, it was like Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, and Medgar Evers. It was like, who? Obviously, Medgar Evers means something.
He does really, like, a lot.
Yeah,
so I was like
I didn't know until that, and then
I thought to ask you that to, like, not while we were on the phone earlier today, coming up with like topics to talk about, but I thought that's like, they don't really talk about Medgar Evers during Black History Month. I just shook the whole desk and then everything fell. That's my fault.
Oh
I
yeah,
just set it back up.
I hadn't heard
They
anything
don't
about
talk
it.
about them during Black History Month. They
Yeah,
talk about Rosa Parks. Like I said, my
yeah.
problem with Black History Month is they don't really teach enough of Black history. I did an assignment in second grade on Medgar Evers. I didn't even know. I back then I knew about him and I knew what he was doing just because my mom was a member of the NAACP.
Mhm.
So growing up, like first of all, just to preface this, my mom born 1956.
Okay.
I kind of mentioned this in I'm gonna keep going back to episode 4 anytime we talk about anything racial because that was my deep dive
Yeah, yeah,
into race and racial issues in America. But
yeah.
my mom was born in '56, so you got to imagine like this is before the bombings in
Tulsa.
Alabama. Not
Is
Tulsa.
that?
Tulsa was before my mom.
Oh, okay.
Tulsa was, I think, before my grandma. To be honest, it's the 99th. Yeah, it was before my grandma. Slightly before
Oh.
my grandma.
I mean,
Not my great
just
grandma.
one sec about Tulsa. Is that the idea that Donald Trump's holding his first rally on Juneteenth in Tulsa
In Tulsa,
is bonkers.
fucking wild.
Yeah.
Like the audacity of this
It's
man.
oh my
Like
god.
it's like for people who don't give a fuck, it's like whatever. But like for me, I care because, like I said, I care because I am black. Like the moment I stop caring, if I get caught slipping, that's my ass.
Yeah.
Like, who said it best? Chris Rock. Chris Rock was talking about how, like, if a white dude came up to him and stabbed him in the neck with a fucking pen because he got too comfortable, it's like, gotcha. He's like, yeah, you got me. Like, yeah, like you have to stay vigilant about certain things just because it's literally your ass. Like, you have to. And even when you are vigilant, they can still get you. So it's like, stay vigilant.
Yeah.
But I go back to talk about the time period in which my mom was born. My mom was born before the Voting Rights Act, before the Civil Rights Act. Like my mom was born. I tell people, my mom was born a second, and I say third class just to like emphasize where it was, second and third class citizen in this country.
Yeah.
And so I try to like come from a frame of mind of not just myself, like looking at my mom and like my grandma, because I live with my grandma. My grandma, like I told you before, my grandma would tell me stories. I just found out. I told you the other day. I think I just found out. I think it was on the last podcast that my grandma and my aunts on my dad's side went to the protest, but my uncle was too busy working, like back then. But they went to the protest in the '60s and listened to them out, like Martin. And so when you talk about all these people, this shit wasn't just history. Like it, like my thing is, I get mad when people say, "Oh, that was so long ago. Oh, that was history." I'm like, bruh, like imagine somebody talking to you about high school. For you, like that's not just some long gone history. That's a part of your life. Like everything that's happened in your life still affects you to this day. You used to get beat from the time you was able to walk, like abusively, to the time you left the house. That will have an effect on your life to this day. Like you can overcome it and like live a happy life, but it's still going to always be a part of you.
Yeah.
And so I try to tell people like, yo, I understand that everybody thinks it's so long ago and this and that, but it still has an effect today.
Yeah.
And so to go back to that, like when I listen to all those speeches that happen, like when you see all those black and white speeches, I'm like, my mom was alive for those.
Yeah.
All that shit you saw, all those videos.
I just saw something that was like those pictures of the like Million Man March and stuff were all taken in
We
color.
were alive.
They were taken in color, and
the Million Man March was in 91 or 92. I want to say 91 or 92.
Then from the 68, 69 riots and stuff it was all taken in color and then changed to black and white to make us think that they were forever ago.
Yeah.
So like, you see a black and white picture, you assume like I don't even think about it. It's just like it's forever.
A long time ago. History. Yeah, no. Yeah. My mom, like I said, my mom was alive for this shit. It's not like I don't need to read a history book.
Like all of our grandparents were not only alive, they had opinions because it was the biggest thing happening.
Yes, it's like,
and I can't prove that my grandparents were on the right side of it. You know what I mean? I don't know what they thought about it.
Like my thing is like people talk about it like it's so far gone. I'm like, I don't need to read a history book about the riots. My mom was there.
Yeah.
Like, the fuck are we talking about? They were like in the 90s when the riots were going on in like LA. There are people right now who were like teenagers who's like, yo, that shit was wild. That shit was so wild. Like, they talk about the riots.
Yeah.
And it's like, I can't, like, they like compare it to now, and it's like, for them it doesn't feel the same, but at the same time it's like, I understand because we did that shit. And then like in the 60s they did that shit. Like,
Yeah.
they did that shit. Now imagine before the 60s there were no real riots except for the slave revolutions. The only riots there were white people burning down black people and other people of color neighborhoods. Like, those were the riots. It wasn't like the Tulsa bombing is a riot. It wasn't a riot that black people destroyed their own shit. It was fucking the KKK and white people and the police. Like, they party down, fire department, all of them. It was a whole coalition of everybody fucking with the black people. So yeah, no, I'm like, I look at it, and it's like, it's not just history, but
one of
Baldwin.
my most important
Medgar Evers.
takeaways. Well, sorry, yeah. Well, Medgar Evers.
Did you actually look up who he was afterwards, or you just watched the video and was like, oh, Medgar Evers was a guy at that time, and was like, nodded. It's okay if you did.
No, I like briefly just that, like, he was the NAACP's like main, was it a secretary, something like that, and then
he was up there.
It was mostly information about he was like a traveling guy, and that he mainly a lot of reading about his murder. Like, that was like the fact that it was unsolvable. You know what I mean? That he was being followed after a chat with members of the KKK. So obviously,
there's a movie that I used to watch in elementary school. It's like a biopic of Medgar Evers.
Yeah.
And I remember this movie because I remember watching it like the second time and seeing like waiting for him to like get shot in his driveway. Like, you don't actually see it, like you hear the gunshot and he's dead in the driveway. But I remember that movie and I'm like,
yeah.
There was a movie in elementary school that I don't know if you might have seen it. Our Friend Martin. It's a cartoon movie about Martin Luther King where these kids, like, they're like this mixed race group of kids, and they like are all friends, and then like they get time travel somehow and they meet Martin Luther King, and they bring Martin Luther King back to their time.
Is it like the Boondocks episode? I'm just kidding.
No, it's not like the Boondocks. But they bring this teenage Martin back to their time, and because they like removed him from time,
oh shit,
he never did what he was supposed to do, and it's like you see the effects in the future.
Yeah,
and I'm just like, now I'm just like, I feel like
it would have been the same. Like,
I feel like eventually somebody would have stepped up in that role.
Yeah,
I feel like eventually I feel like Martin Luther King, one, was a special person. Don't get me wrong. Like, it takes guts to do what he did.
Yeah.
Like, you have to not care about your life. Not in the sense that you don't want to live, but in the sense that you think your life is not as valuable as the cause.
Yeah.
And so that's why I say, like, not care. Like, you have to care less about your life than you do the cause. Yeah. And so I just feel like eventually somebody steps up somewhere, whether it takes another 50 years, somebody steps up eventually. Yeah. But when you talk about Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, and Medgar Evers, it's a clear example of what I say all the time. They assassinated our leaders. And when I say they, I mean the American people at large, with the white society, white supremacy, the government, and they assassinated our leaders to show a point. Like,
one sec, let me press pause.
Go ahead. Yeah, no.
Okay,
so how far? Okay, we're back.
Yeah.
So we were talking about Medgar Evers and.
Sorry, like, I got poop all over me.
It's all good. You got a newborn. We understand. And so we were talking about these three men, and I was asking you, like, what did you know about Medgar Evers? Because everybody know Malcolm X and Martin, but there's so many other people that you don't really know about that were important figures during the Civil Rights Movement. That's why I said I have a problem with Black history, because they don't teach you about Medgar fucking Evers. They really don't unless you go.
Like, just like the main points.
Like, and he was a main part of the Civil Rights Movement.
Dude, and literally, when I was taught about Malcolm X, it was briefly, and it was like, this is all the things these are like the main point things that Martin did. And then Malcolm X was the opposite of him. Like that's
And
like
that's not even the case.
yeah,
It
that's
wasn't the
yeah.
case.
When you listen to Malcolm X, it was
At
like
first it was, but then he eventually grew into like, okay, I see what you're doing here.
yeah,
Like at first he was like, man, fuck that up. That fuck him. That's how he was. Like
yeah.
he grew. That's what I liked about. Like when you saw the I Am Not Your Negro, and
Mhm.
Baldwin talked about his first time seeing, not actually meeting, but seeing
Yeah.
Malcolm X. First of all, you could tell Baldwin was gay because he always talks about how handsome
He
Malcolm
was a
X was.
beautiful man.
Like he
All
was
right,
like, yo, I was
happy
a
Pride Month.
writer.
We're laughing at Baldwin. Okay,
Yo, Baldwin is like my favorite person. Like when people
yeah.
like, oh, who would you want to like have dinner with? There are two people that come to mind. Like your famous guest of any time period.
Jesus and James Baldwin. Like
No, Craig Venter
who's that?
and Baldwin. The first person in sequence the human genome.
Oh, okay.
The fact that everybody doesn't know this motherfucker's name, but everybody does 23andMe is fucking ridiculous to me.
Yeah.
Like this man made it so that like genetic like coding, like you gotta understand how important that was in history.
Yeah.
GMOs are a thing because of this man. Like you gotta understand this shit. Like
Yeah.
this man is colossal.
Yeah.
And people don't even know. But
That's crazy.
getting back on topic to Baldwin. Baldwin, the way he writes is how I dream of writing. Like it's the way I write my poetry. Like when I write my poetry, like I want to use my poetry on women, but that shit is not reality.
All right,
Like the
and
way he writes is
Denzel, I hate to stop you there, but we're right back to Baldwin for pussy. So
it is. It really is. Yo, I walk up to a woman, be like, yo, what is it? Fuck, I can't like I hate that
sorry.
I hate that I don't know the whole quote.
Oh.
And when I think it goes, and when I thought I was lost, I think this is exactly how it goes. I'm trying to remember verbatim. And when I thought I was lost, my dungeon shook and my chains fell off. I think the word is fell off. Yo, I don't want to butcher that. This is such a great quote. No, it's either fell off or broke off. It's one of the two. It's a quote from James Baldwin. It's the very end of his. He has like a little essay that he writes in the book that I posted, "The Fire Next Time." It's my favorite Baldwin book, by the way, because it's not. It's like an essay basically of his actual life and his experiences and the Black experience. I feel like that's my favorite actual Baldwin book. And so in the beginning, there's an excerpt that was supposed to be like a journal article or like an article, like a newspaper article, an essay. It's called A Letter to My Nephew. And his nephew was named after him. And his nephew was like 15 at the time, and this was during the height of the civil rights movement. And he was talking to him about forgiving white people for their whiteness, kind of, sort of. Not all the way forgiving, like, yo, I can understand why you're mad. Like, they see you a certain way. They don't even see you technically. Like, a part of that said, they don't see you. This wasn't in I Am Not Your Negro because it wasn't that. But he's like, they don't see you. I think he might have touched on it in another debate or conversation, but when he was talking to his nephew, he was like,
they see what they think about you, and that once they find out that you're not that, their whole world shatters.
Yes. So you have read a little bit of it. That's actually in A Letter to My Nephew. Yeah,
I think
Chris Rock did it somewhere. He did it. He like read it because it's only like a page and a half, and I remember he read that out loud. But yeah, I mean, I gave that copy of my book to my nephew, and I asked him the other day. I was like, "Hey, did you ever read that James Baldwin book I gave you?" He was like, "Nah." I was like, "That is one thing that I really wanted." Like, I was, I can't shake.
Sorry.
No, I was shaking. I sighed and I hit the desk. Like, it's gonna be. That's just a side effect. Like, yo, anytime Denzel's upset, phone falls. But I caught it that time.
It keeps looking like one of those TikTok videos where it falls and then it comes down from the roof because it's doing like a complete 360 once it lands on you. But Uh,
Well, I'm trying to set this shit up again. Where
well, what you're saying about like when he said that, like, like a black person's history is passed down like much more thoroughly than a white person's, it like made me think a lot about like, well, one, like on my mom's side, her biological dad she like never met, and then
I
like
didn't know that.
yeah. So I think she might have like talked to him like once or twice before he died, but and then on my dad's side, I know that my grandfather was like in the war. He played baseball in New York for like a little bit, and then like the only thing I really know about my dad is that we visited New Hampshire. We saw the elementary school he went to, and then we ate ice cream at a place where he used to eat ice cream as a kid. Like that's like it. Like as far as my dad's side, and then it's almost like Jesus, how he was born and then he was 33 years old. Like we know that, like my brother looked it up, and one of our relatives, like William Taylor, I think he came over on the Mayflower, and now here.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
oh, you one of those?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, you came on the good
yeah.
boat.
I'm thinking I'm kind of an oppressor.
Like hey, look, you came over on the good boat.
Yeah.
You came over on the we ain't really gotta work. We could just chill on the boat. Like we could walk around the boat freely boat.
Yeah, we didn't land at Jonestown. We landed at Plymouth.
Like like Plymouth Rock didn't land on us. We landed on Plymouth Rock. You one
Yeah,
of those.
yeah. Yeah.
Oh man.
So, but
But
yeah, that's like I don't really know. Like I don't really like. It doesn't feel like I have history invested in America. I just have an existence invested in America. And when he talks about how like I mean, like when I first started talking to you about this sort of stuff, like you're just like it feels like every single black person knows their history so thoroughly. You know what I mean? It's just like that's
no,
really
they
fucking
don't.
cool. Okay.
They don't. So first of all, I was listening to Hotep Jesus on Joe Rogan. I've been trying to avoid that fucking podcast just because I have a problem with the Hoteps. Like, first of all, you don't even, like I know you don't know what a Hotep is, so I'm not even going. We
I
could
think I
talk
have an
about that
idea.
often. We could. They're like the blackest version of black you could think of. Like, it's so weird how they describe them,
Like
but it's not
black
a bad.
Israelites without ties to Zionism.
Basically, no, I'm just kidding. No, they're so. I'm just gonna skip over what they are because I'm not gonna
Okay.
insult them. Like I respect them, but they go a little too far, if you know what I mean. And so he was talking about, he was like, yo, like black people are already here. And I'm like, yeah, but not in the sense that we weren't also, he was like, oh, it don't make no sense for the Atlantic slave trade didn't make any sense. And I was like, yes, it did. It just made more sense that you could stop in Jamaica and then bring people up once you already had them in Jamaica. Like it says only 300,000 slaves actually came to America out of the 10 million that they took I mean, in North America, but it doesn't like Brazil had a
Yeah.
huge amount of like Brazil, Haiti, the Dominican, like there's a whole area that they brought a bunch of slaves into. And it's like, oh,
Yeah.
it's not feasible. I'm like, that journey ain't as long as you think. And then people, they be like, oh, half the people on the boat died. And it makes sense. Like half the people on the boat did not die. It wasn't as long as you think.
Yeah, and
That's why they
also
did
they had
it.
a vested interest in them not dying. Like obviously kept in the lowest standards possible, but
My thing is, you have to like my question is this: for conspiracy theories to work, you have to have a small number of people who actually know what's going on. No, because once the majority knows, it's no longer a conspiracy. And so, like, there are firsthand accounts of like a man who was an African prince, like an actual prince,
mm,
who got sold into slavery, like kind of by mistake. And then he wrote, because he could write in English. He had
yeah.
been taught in English schools and shit. He wrote a letter to his people. And then on behalf of his royal family contacted the UK, like, yo, get our son back. Get our family back. And he went back home. Like,
Damn.
yeah, this is some shit people don't understand. Like, it wasn't like people be like, oh no, black. Like, there are people be like, oh, black people have always been in America. I'm like, yeah, there was a lot of dark skinned ass Native Americans too. Don't get me wrong. There's
Yeah.
also black people. Like, once you get 300,000 people here, you start breeding people. You had a bunch of slaves. Like, it'd be like, I don't know how many white people on the plantation, like 3 white people, but fucking 50 slaves. Come on, like you had more fucking in that area. It was okay because they were fucking like that's like when you got a farm now. Slaves were fucking cattle. They call it chattel slavery, chattel with an H.
Uh,
That's what the fuck they were. We were basically sheep that did work for people. We
yeah.
were sheep and pigs and cows, whatever. That's how they
Yeah.
saw us as animals.
Yeah.
You don't give a fuck. You make people fuck to
Yeah.
have more fucking like. You don't have to artificially inseminate. I'm gonna beat
Yeah.
your ass. You either gonna fuck or I'm gonna beat your ass.
Yeah. You breed
You
the
can at
best
least
ones and then you sell them at an auction. Like
like
when
it
you see the
just
descriptions of human beings, like
and you can just make them pop out
yeah.
babies because you can feed them the bullshit, the scraps, and they'll still grow strong. And then we can have a bunch. Like, so
Jesus
I don't
Christ.
have a
Yeah.
problem with him. I just had a problem with like his dismissal of science. Like, I don't care what you say. Like, there's certain things that you do where you can prove certain things. Like, if I sit a bunch of people in a room and I say, hey, everybody that got something in common, we're gonna figure this out what we got in common. It ain't gotta be like personality wise. You could be like, all right, I have everybody who has $10 stand up. And $10 in their pocket. You got $10, whether like $10 or more, let's do it like that. Everybody who has $10 or more, stand up. All the people sitting down have something in common. Like if I I know how genes work. I know science. Like it's not biased. It's not like, you know, the nucleotides only work the way the white people say it. Like I've sequenced genes. Like that's not even an exaggeration. I have literally sequenced genes. Like
That's dope.
he was trying to talk shit about 23andMe. I don't like it because first of all, the FBI has like access to that database, and I don't want them having access to my genome or any other company personally. Like I don't trust cloning. I want to clone. I want to clone shit. Like that's what I wanted to do. That's why I
Like
went to school.
organizing those 4 different neurotransmitters or whatever they're called. The what is it again? ACAB?
No, ATCG.
I know.
AT like they A and T match up and C and G match up. And so those 4 those are nucleotides. Those 4 nucleotides make up everything because from there it codes for different proteins, and then the proteins like it builds is the building block. And so there are certain things that can't be biased. I say this all the time, and I will continue to say this. There's certain things that can't be biased. Genetic testing isn't one of them. It's not like white people put a system out that only works the way they want it to work. It works for anybody, no matter how you do it. Like if you're the daddy, you're the daddy. If you're not, you're not. It doesn't matter what race. Like it's not like, oh, white people want you to be the daddy. Like no, there's certain things. And so when he knocked 23andMe, I was like, I agree that 23andMe is bullshit because 1, they allow your information to be sold, and 2, it's hard to actually track. He made a point that I tell people to all the time. Europe split up the regions in Africa, and they created the borders.
Yeah.
After World War One, that never existed, and that caused infighting and instability. And so I agree with that, but that doesn't mean like how Rogan said, like you're still, and the people in that geographic area, where regardless of the borders, share some fucking genetics with you that you don't share with any other people anywhere else on the planet. I mean, it's probably where you were fucking descended from. That's just how it works. Yeah. But I also agree that we're black people in America. Like he brought up, remember how I told you about Mansa Musa? I don't remember which episode it was. We were talking about the richest man in history, not being like, so the emperor before him, literally right before him. That's why I said it's like a conspiracy. I think I said it on this podcast that it was a conspiracy that when he went on his sail, he sailed away and never returned. Like he just left and went on the ocean and never came back. There's a conspiracy that Mansa Musa might have had a kill and just said they might have just covered that up as a cover up.
Yeah.
But there's a great chance that, like when you look at the Olmecs, they fucking started that shit. Like there's a great chance that there were people been coming back and forth. It's not that far.
Yeah.
Like apparently there's a spot from one of the Carolinas that you can damn near see Africa or some shit. It's really weird.
What?
Some shit.
Dude, that would be awesome.
I don't know. Like, I can't remember. not that you can damn near see it, but it's like it's
yeah.
not.
It's like
It's so close.
yeah,
It's so fucking close
it
that
exists there.
like when you look at a Mercator, like you look, like I said, remember how I made a joke about Europe like stretching they shit and shrinking the black people shit?
Yeah.
Africa is way bigger, and the
Then
ocean is not as
imaginable. Like
on
yeah,
the map. When you look at the map, it makes it look like the
because
ocean is so far away. Hold on, 1 second. Hey, hold on. I was just about to do the same thing.
all right. So here's the Carolinas. And what would it be, like the Western Sahara? You know what? I wonder when this one was made, because there's a lot of countries I've never heard of before. And also, I didn't pay much attention.
Yo, bruh, my shit's so dusty. You can't really tell,
Oh,
but shit.
Denzel,
Look.
you're not using your globe?
This shit's so dusty. Like, hold on. Look at this.
Oh,
I don't have
wow.
a kid that
It's actually
like
blue
fucking
on the bottom. Yeah.
look. This shit's like no, it's a black globe. It's a black and silver globe. But look how I wanna say it's what is it?
Where is it?
There's a part.
Like Morocco?
I
Have
don't
you
know
ever
if this
heard
is
of Mauritania?
yeah,
I've
it's
never
right
heard
next
of
to
it.
Mali. Look, I'm looking at the globe too. Like, yeah, it's right next
Yeah.
to Mali.
Burkina Faso.
So there's like 54 countries in
Sorry.
Africa, by the way. Most people
And
can't name more than
it's changing
most people
almost
can't more than
constantly, right?
15. No, not even that often. Actually, not in recent times.
I've never looked at Africa. Besides,
That's
whenever inside of whatever book we were using in school, Chad fell right in the middle, so I thought that was funny.
yeah, that is hilarious.
Then
But
there was a
I
kid
thought
named
that was
Chad, and also Chad was a country in Africa.
all right.
But
I'm about to freeze because I'm gonna like I had this Tinder conversation with this woman, and we were joking about going on vacation and whatnot, right?
mhm.
And so I was just talking to her about the places like because she was like, oh yeah, my like in her Tinder bio was like, oh my grandma's trying to sell me off to somebody in the Philippines. She's like half Filipino, and I was like, you can tell your grandma you ain't gotta worry, I got you. And she's like you ain't even gotta go to the Philippines. She's like, oh, I want to go back someday, and I'm just like, well, I'm not saying you can't ever go back,
There was this
but
article
after
about.
that,
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
oh, I was just before you continue, I was like, after that, I was like, yo, as long as we can travel somewhere, like we can go to the Philippines first, and then I get the second one. Like we can just draw out of that. She's like, oh, what's the
Yeah.
option? I was like, Marrakesh, Casablanca in Morocco, Cape Town, Johannesburg in South Africa, Cairo, Giza in Egypt, Bazarutu and Maputo in Mozambique, Accra in Ghana, Kunta Kinte Island in Senegal, and the Serengeti in Tanzania. Those are
Gee.
like the places I want to go to in Africa. Like whenever I
Yeah.
hear people talk, oh yeah, I want to go to Ubud and Bali, and I want to see Great Wall, and I want to go to Venice. And fuck all that. I want to go to the cities I just named, and those are 8 different cities in countries. Like I want to go to 2 cities in each of those countries before
Yeah.
I die.
I mean, that sounds like fucking dope.
Hell yeah. And those are the places that are like tourist friendly too. Like which one? Maputo. Oh no, Bazarutu. And where's that one at? I want to say it's in the eastern Africa. Yeah, it's in Mozambique.
Mm-hmm.
Those pictures look like some tropical shit. Like I just want, like, oh my god, like I want to go there so bad.
Nice.
Like fuck Bali. That's where I'm.
Okay. So when we were looking at the globes, we kind of slowed down for a minute. So let's go 846.
846.
846.
Thank you. First of all,
Let's close on 846, but
cool.
God damn. That obviously, like, the comedy community is fucking creaming their pants over how, like, like fucking Shannon had sent me something, and this is like what a lot of people think about, and a lot of the defining what modern comedy is that Chappelle's just fucking interesting to listen to.
Yeah.
Like, he can hold your attention in a way that's damn near impossible. Like on a godly level. Like, I forget who it was, but someone was saying that like Eddie Murphy had told them when they were first starting to do theaters and stuff to like walk back and forth so that no one has a moment to not look at you. But Chappelle speaks in a way that it's like I noticed a moment in the special itself. Not even talking about what he's talking about, but when he takes out the cigarette, when he's about to talk about Eric Garner, he spills like a piece of tobacco from the pack. It falls on his knee, and like obviously you can't see that. But then he goes like this. He's like, and it's just like in such an artful way of moving that it was interesting to watch. Like
See, for me, I so remember how I said like I listened to that. It was on YouTube. Like I didn't know it was on Netflix at all. I just knew it was on
oh, is it
YouTube.
on
Like my
Netflix?
cousin,
Yeah, I only saw
yeah,
it on YouTube.
my cousin posted that. It's like, oh, Dave Chappelle just dropped this free on YouTube, and I was like, all right,
Yeah,
bet. So I went and watched it, and I was like, yeah, like he didn't say shit that he has never said before. That's
yeah,
why when he like came at Don Lemon, he was like,
yeah.
really,
Don't.
bro? Have you ever
Yeah,
seen my stand-ups? Like, matter of fact. So remember I said after I watched 846, and the video that played after was 33 minutes of George Carlin.
yeah,
After that was 33 minutes of Dave Chappelle.
yeah,
Literally, like the next video, I just let it go automatically. I was at work loading up
yeah,
the truck, and most of his bits on that 33 minutes had something to do with the police and police brutality and
yeah.
how he behaves around police. Like
I mean, like the
most of his
fucking
stand-up specials
iconic
have,
sprinkle some crack on him and let's get out of here.
yeah, like most of his shit has some like he was just like that's why he was mad at Don Lemon. Like, I hope you don't say me, like,
Yeah,
motherfucker. What is you talking about? I've been talking
yeah,
about this, and so everything he said wasn't like I told you before. Unfortunately, like I listen to Baldwin, I listen to Malcolm, I listen to Megger, I listen to, and I'm gonna go a little bit further back. I listen to WEB, I listen to fucking Booker T, I listen to who else? Stokely Carmichael. I listen to these people. I listen to UEP. I listen to like Tupac. I've listened to people that have different opinions that have lived in different times. Chappelle ain't said shit new. That whole stand-up wasn't nothing new for
yeah,
people that's been listening. And
yeah,
so I liked it because I'm like, yes, it's not for like what I feel like a lot of people don't understand is this shit that he's saying ain't for fucking black people.
yeah,
It's not. It's not for black people. It's not for us. We know this shit. Like you don't, and the ones who don't know it subconsciously, I feel. And so,
yeah,
first of all, like you said, masterful, not in the sense that, and for you is like his art form and his technique. Because, like I said, I'm not really a comic. I just want to try it and get better at it, just because I didn't do well at it.
yeah.
But for me, it was
Sorry, I didn't mean yeah.
oh
I've seen you have fun and do fun things. I meant yes, and let's keep the conversation going.
oh
Like,
yeah no I'm
like
listening.
yeah, you
I'm
suck at
saying
comedy, but yeah,
no
yeah,
yeah
yeah,
no I mean so what I'm saying is
yeah,
like it was he didn't have to do that.
yeah,
But he also like you couldn't put out a special right now during this time and not address it. And then honestly, I respect the fact that he tried telling a little bit of jokes to like not make it so fucking depressing.
yeah,
Like it's like how me and you have a like if I have a real conversation with my son, I might drop a joke here and there so
yeah.
it doesn't like just completely bum you the fuck out.
It's
If you
almost
ever
like
notice I do that. I do that.
yeah,
But that's what I'm saying. Like that's what the fuck he did. He wanted to speak his mind without bumming everybody out by thinking, "Oh damn, it's the Debbie Downer." No,
yeah,
he literally said what the fuck was on his mind and threw a couple jokes in there. First of all, I told you earlier about his response to Candace Owens. Fuck Candace Owens. Fuck those Hodge twins. Fuck them niggas.
dude. It's crazy
First,
how much comments are just like, oh, so you guys have to resort to name calling, huh? It's just like, Jesus, she's calling people thugs and fucking, I don't know. It's the
like
obviously he's right.
So I was saying like there's
Oh, sorry. One
page. Yeah.
smaller thing about that is that like it's crazy how many people are like saying one that it's not funny. It's like fuck off with that. Uh,
It's
and
not
then
funny. It's not. I mean, let's be
yeah, it's
real. It's
not.
not
It
funny.
doesn't. He says
It's not
it's
supposed to
not.
be.
It doesn't have to be. He's he didn't release this as a comedy special. He released this as his stand up, and this can be what stand up is.
Yeah.
And then how many people who I feel like, obviously you can't always prove it's the same people, and whenever you say it's the same people doing this that are doing that, but it's obviously feels like a lot of the same people who were like, yeah, Chappelle's finally telling it like it is about the LGBT fruit salad, fucking different words, letters, soup in
I make fun
in
of
the
that shit
car
all the
thing.
time. I'm
But
just
you know
gonna
what
be
I mean?
real.
Like
I make fun of
it was those people who were like, finally someone stands up to this liberal bullshit about uh, trans rights and gender versus sex, but it's the same people who are saying that, who are coming out against him now about like why
Hold
don't
on.
you just stick to comedy? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They
No,
like the
he
social
talked about
commentary when it proves them right.
no, he talked about Laura Ingraham. Let me know if my audio changed because I had to plug in my phone.
No, it's all good.
He talked about Laura Ingraham, and I was upset. Like I liked how he talked about it because he talked about it from an honest point of view, so I can't be mad.
Yeah,
But I feel like the context of Laura Ingraham. Damn, this is something on my camera. Okay, the context of Laura Ingraham was the Drew Brees incident of it all.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
That she was like, Drew Brees has the right idea. He's for our country. When she had
and
told
then
him to
so
shut up and dribble
LeBron
before.
shut up and dribble.
Yeah,
Like, you can't tell one athlete that his opinions are invalid
yeah,
because he's an athlete, and then tell another athlete that his opinions are good because they align with what you say. That's not how journalism should work. So
yeah,
fuck her. DL Hughley Ben said that he don't fuck with her, or no, it was Megan Kelly.
yeah,
It was Megan Kelly he don't fuck with. There's people that you don't have to fuck with. You don't have to fuck with Laura Ingraham. Like fuck her. Fuck
yeah,
Laura Ingraham. Fuck Candace Owens. Don Lemon, I like my mom told me to watch what he said right after it happened, like a 10-minute thing. And I still haven't watched it because I'm like, Mom, there's nothing Don Lemon can tell me about the situation that I already don't know. He's not going to articulate it in some way that's going to shed some light on me. I appreciate whatever he said. If you telling me it sounds good, I take your word. I trust you and your opinion, but I'm
yeah,
not about to go out of my way to listen to Don Lemon or anybody else explain to me a situation that I already know.
yeah, yeah.
Like, it's just not necessary at this point. Like, you can't keep seeing the same shit. Like, it is literally the same shit over and over again. Like, you can't keep seeing the same shit and then expecting people to be like, oh, this is new. Like, what? Get the fuck out of
Yeah.
here. I don't get that. It's like that mindset, like, oh, well, this one is different than the last one. The last one, he got choked out like this, but this time he got choked out with his knee. Like, the fuck out of here. Like, no, he got choked out. He said it can't breathe. Asked him to take it off of him. Like, it's the same shit. It's not different. It's not. I'm telling people, like, people treat this shit like it's different. It's not fucking different. That's the problem. That is literally the problem. And people are skipping over it. Like, fucking Candace Owens. Fuck Candace Owens.
Yeah.
I posted this long ass
That
post on
we didn't pick him to be a martyr.
yes.
Like, I mean, you said this earlier. I'm not fucking coming up
No,
with
you're
this on
good.
the spot. But
No, you're good. Like, cool.
like
That's cool.
like
Like, we
that's what
didn't pick
Chappelle
him to
said. Is
be
like,
a
we didn't
martyr.
pick him to be a martyr.
He became a martyr
yeah.
unwillingly. Like
Chappelle says, like,
martyrdom,
you picked him. They picked him.
martyrdom is sacrificing yourself for your beliefs.
Yeah.
He didn't sacrifice himself for any belief. He got sacrificed. And it was already a part of a problem that people wanted to fix. So he became a martyr unwillingly, not because we chose him to be. We weren't like, yo, George, go die for this so we can prove a point. No, the point was proven by other people. This is what Chappelle was telling people.
Yeah.
He's not a hero because we want him to be. He's the martyr because the ops, I say the ops just like the young kids do, the ops chose him to be. It wasn't us, it was the ops. The ops made him into a hero, not us. The ops made him into a martyr, not us. We didn't kill him. They did. And so
just
First of
to
all, I
address
can't
that
think
is like
of
every conspiracy that like yeah yes
like I'm going to go to my YouTube page.
and
Not my
whoever
YouTube.
those twin dudes are and fucking
Yeah, fuck
like
them.
I
Fuck
I
them.
used to joke about this shit all the time with my aunt who is black, so ally by blood, baby. Uh she like I was always just like, if you want to get like Instagram famous, just say every single conservative talking point and validate their point of view. If they say if it comes from a black person, they will absolutely watch the shit out of it, share the shit out of it. If they're allowed to be as racist as they want to be because someone who presents as black says it, they will gobble that shit up. And you see that all the time. Like, oh my god, it's so crazy, man.
So I was saying this earlier. I know I'm frozen, but I have to read this and I can't
Yeah.
really do the share thing.
Okay.
And so the Instagram page, Ho Hungry Hawaiian,
Yeah.
asked about the thoughts, and he posted the video that Candace Owens was doing about
Well, that,
George Floyd. And it says thoughts question mark. In no way does this justify his murder. However, this
yes.
is the truth. ... The narrative the media fed you is a lie. That is what the caption to Ho Hungry Hawaiian
Yeah.
says. I'm like, the media doesn't need to feed you a narrative about this man. Just know he was a man who died unjustly. Period. I don't
Yeah.
give a fuck. Like I said, I don't give a fuck what he did. This man could have burned down 1,000 empty homes. Don't kill this man.
Yeah.
Don't kill him. Like, and so this is what I posted in response. I mean, this is the most likes I've ever got on a fucking comment in Instagram, but it's not a brag thing. It's just what it is. And I wrote, if you can't see that someone is murdered by the cops, the opposite, like this is a question, not like kind of like a statement, more so. The opposition does their damnedest to demonize and dehumanize the victims, and that's exactly what Candace Owens is doing here.
Yeah.
Then you're not looking. Like I said, if you can't see and you can't see that, then you're not looking. Even if all this is true, it shouldn't and doesn't matter. He's dead and didn't deserve to die, unarmed, begging for his life, restrained in a 4-on-1. The moment you start to demonize the dead who can't defend themselves, it paints a picture that their lives weren't worthy enough of life. And in doing so, gives some vindication to the cops in question. It has been happening since this country started. People finding ways to justify treating black people like less than by saying we're not the same. We're a subspecies meant to be subjugated, that we were heathens, savages, vandals, animals, thugs, drug dealers, rapists, monsters, etc. Please don't let the bullshit this woman is spewing distract from the fact he was cheated out of his constitutional right to a day in court and cheated out of his life.
Yeah.
That is what I wrote. That is my post to that. This was posted on June the 4th. I posted this a week ago. So this was before Dave Chappelle dropped this shit. I'm not just bandwagon. I'm not trying to be like grandstand and say, oh, I said this before. No, there's a lot of black people saying this. Every time some shit happens to a black person, the media tries to find a way to demonize them, to make it look like the cops weren't so bad because this person's life wasn't valuable. And it's like,
and then it's also on top of that, even just like splitting the hairs here at minutia, it's like, did the cops know that at the time? You know what I mean? Like, are they just allowed to assume that every single person is guilty until proven innocent?
Which is
literally
it is the inherent bias of the police that black men, especially like I said, I don't get the luxury of acting like I can't see there's an inherent bias in the policing system. I don't get that luxury.
Yeah.
Whereas other people say, oh, well, the police are fucked with me. I'm like, yeah, but they're not aiming for you.
Yeah.
Even if it's happened to you, I'm sorry it happened. I'm not throwing that away, but they're not aiming for you. Statistics show that it's 3 times more likely to happen to me than you. So if it happened to you, you had 1/3 of the chance of it happening to you as it does to me, but it can still happen. Like for me, I'm 3 times more likely for this shit to happen for no fucking reason than you are. And so I can't walk around as a 6'2", 230-something pound black man and not act like I am seen as a potential threat, even when I'm not. I can't pretend like I've never had people walk across the street because I was walking down the street. I can't. That's not serious for me. That part's not. But I've seen it. I've seen it happen. I've seen people click their cars as I walk by.
Yeah.
Like I've had the police called on me at work.
Like the one we have now, or
Yes.
really?
Yes. I've been told by the police. The police have been called because of me being in the neighborhood.
God damn. Holy
Like I was
shit.
talking to a black officer and he was telling me, he was like, yeah, but I'll give some context to this so that it makes like it's not making it look as bad. But they've had calls about
It's
a
that
black
that you did
carrier.
home invasions at some point. No, I'm just kidding.
It was like, no,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
because during Christmas time they would send us out at fucking 6 a.m.
yeah,
And
yeah,
so
yeah,
even in my uniform though, they would
yeah,
see me as a black man in their neighborhood at 6 and be like, nah, we good. Like
yeah,
I remember my first Christmas, they had me deliver at 5 in the morning. I'm
yeah.
in that U-Haul truck with the postal magnet on the side that don't look official,
Dude,
and trying to
yes,
deliver to
that was
people
fucking crazy.
at
Yeah, yeah,
fucking 5 in the morning, and
yeah,
I don't know if they got dogs in their yards,
yeah.
and I
And
had something to do to
picture
the
that you were in uniform, right? They're sending people out with just a hat.
right. I had the
Yeah,
shirt on, but I had my own pants, like I had my own cargos because I wasn't full time, so I had
yeah,
cargos. And I straight up told them, I was like, yo, I don't feel comfortable delivering at 5 in the morning, not because it's so early, but because I'm black. Like I told them straight up, like, I don't feel comfortable doing that. Like I'm a 6'2" black man walking around these rich ass white people's yard, even in the mailman shirt in a fucking U-Haul van. Like I felt
yeah,
I'm not I don't know if this might have to be edited, Patreon shit. I felt uncomfortable as hell. And then so I told him like, yo, I'm not delivering before a certain time. And once I finally made regular and I was still working overtime, I said, yo, I'm not about to come here start at 4. I'm not starting at 5 to
yeah,
deliver in the dark during Christmas time at 6 in the morning. It's not
yeah,
happening. I'm not delivering before the sun comes up. The sun
yeah,
is up, I deliver. If the sun is not up, I am not out there delivering anymore. You're not
yeah,
about. And I had the cop tell me, like, yeah, we got some calls before about you delivering really early. He told me it's happened. And then they like drove by, saw it was an actual mailman. It was like, oh, fuck it, we're good.
yeah,
I don't know if he was also telling me that it happened in the daytime too, but I know for sure it happened at night. I
yeah,
mean, not at night, but early in the morning and at night when we deliver really late. I don't feel comfortable because we deliver to a lot of rich white people and Asian people. I don't feel comfortable delivering in the dark just because I'm me.
yeah,
I don't, even as a mailman. Like now that I have the routes I always do all the time,
yeah,
people know me. I feel a little bit better.
yeah,
But you're not about to send me to no fucking house that I don't know
yeah,
in the night at nighttime. It's not happening.
yeah.
You're not about to have
And
me.
imagine doing that as like a fucking plainclothes UPS guy. Like when you see the hires, the like when we see them out and about when seasonal hiring is happening, like they're just dropped off with a fucking hand cart. Imagine walking around one of those neighborhoods, you plain clothes, you have a hand cart, like you're going door to door looking for shit to take. You know what I mean? Like it's obviously systemic.
Like I don't, like I said, I didn't feel comfortable. Like I don't care what else y'all do, but I'm like, you have to understand that I felt like I was like, and I might be over exaggerating, but I said that before I knew for a fact that the cops had got calls and actually came out to see what I was doing.
Yeah,
Like I got my shit. I was like, my internal bias was fucking confirmed by cops telling me, "Oh yeah, we got calls about you." Like
yeah,
I, in my mind, was like, "Yo, these people not okay with me being here."
yeah,
Even though I'm doing my job and I'm a federal employee, I got that bias in my head got confirmed when the cop told me that, yeah, we got calls about it. This was before Rodney. Oh shit. This is before.
I thought you were about to say Rodney King. I was like, no, we have a Rodney at the. Well,
This is
we
before the
may
other
or may
two
not
black
have a
carriers
Rodney at
got
the
hired.
office.
This is before the other two
Yeah, yeah,
black carriers got hired too. So I
yeah,
was like, it was only me.
yeah. There's no
And
way it was another
so
mailman.
I'm not sure if they called about other carriers though. They might have too, just because of how early it was. But he was like, they
Yeah,
definitely talked about your black ass.
yeah,
Because I'm the only black carrier at the time. I was like, yeah. And then I was like, I'm glad I stopped delivering that early. for a reason, because I don't know, like, there are certain things that I don't do.
Yeah.
Like, anything that can put you, like, I was riding dirty for a minute with my registration and shit. Anything that'll put you in the spotlight of the cops. Like, my family has a big problem with that. Like, yo, anything that puts you in their eyesight is a problem. We don't want you in their eyesight because anything can happen. Like, they got upset. It's like, oh, you been riding dirty? I ain't want to ask y'all. No, you take this money, you're not riding dirty no more.
Yeah.
Like, that type of shit. Like, so I don't know. That's the segue.
It's like when my friends in college were always like they wouldn't smoke when they were driving because you don't do two illegal things at the same time, and it's like you can't do anything illegal because you're already illegal by being black in America.
Exactly. Like, I told somebody, I didn't understand why mediocrity bugged me so much, and I thought it was because I didn't never wanted to be considered mediocre. Never. Like, in nothing I do, I always want to be great, but
yeah,
it wasn't until like I started.
And now you're stuck with me being the producer.
No,
we'll work on it, but let's come
different.
past mediocrity. Like, but yeah,
you asked me to do this, and I'm having fun. Like, it's different.
Yeah.
Nah, like I'm gonna put this on the record, so don't edit this shit out. If we blow up, we're gonna have to start negotiating some shit. But right now, we good.
Yeah.
You're not about to okey dog me. You're not about to.
I'm Paul Giamatti in Straight Outta Compton.
Exactly. You're not about to Cadillac Records me.
Yeah.
Here go a tiny car. Throw the keys at me.
Yeah. I'm Atlantic Records and Gucci Mane.
Any corporation and a black celebrity.
Yeah.
Any celebrity in general. Fuck just a black
let's wrap up by saying that really important Tupac Shakur addressing the Islamic Brotherhood, right?
Yeah.
That's called. That's on your Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
And what's it? Is there like a it's
called
on YouTube, like unreleased?
It's a 17-minute clip of Tupac in 1993. So if you're interested, you're listening to this 17-minute clip of Tupac in 1993.
Yeah.
Talking about the riots and talking about the state of black people in America at that time.
Yeah.
And from his perspective.
Caleb, sorry, 1 sec. Those are pants, not a shirt, bud. There you go. He was halfway into that sleeve.
And so I want to preface that by saying Tupac, a lot of people have their opinions about Tupac, like, oh, like the thug thing was a persona, like he wasn't this and that. He was actually a really smart, intelligent, like poetic type of dude.
Mm.
I honestly believe that he was 25. Now imagine when he died, he was 25. So when he was actually blowing up doing the thug, he was 22. That's it.
That's a viable age to do whatever the fuck you want.
I wasn't really impressionable at 22. Like, I've never been impressionable, I don't think. I don't do things that I've never done things that, I'm going to do it because everybody else do it. Like, again, I'm not bragging, but I'm not on TikTok.
At Reese K. Paul.
I don't do things as other people do it. And I feel like Tupac was at an impressionable age. And he was living in an area around a bunch of thug shit. Like, it was really big. Like, gang shit was really big in the area that he was in.
Yeah.
And he's also, this is where I go back, he was addressing the Nation of Islam members because he is a child of the Black Panther movement. And when I say a child, like, his father might have been a Black Panther. They don't really talk about his actual dad. I don't really know his history. I'm not going to act like I do. Yeah. But his mom was definitely a Black Panther. His stepfather was a Black Panther. The people that raised him were Black Panthers.
Yeah.
And I want to quote, what's her name? Oh, man.
Okay.
Almost done. This is a great quote. I'm so upset I can't remember. Davis. Ruby Dee.
Mm-hmm.
Ruby Dee was an actress. She I'm pretty sure she passed away. I'm like pretty sure. Yeah, she died in 2014.
Mm.
I mean, in 2014, she was like 8 years short of being 100. So she was 92 when she died. It's not like
Okay.
so she did a piece on Def Comedy Jam about Tupac, and she I want to read this piece before we go because it kind of sums up the mindset of that. It might help set it up. So I'm going to go back to the Zoom, see where I'm frozen at, and put myself in a position that I like when I freeze. Okay, there we go.
That's good.
Yeah, I know. So it says, this is her poem. It's called Tupac. And it says, Woon walked with the warriors, with the nation builders, who believed they could make a difference, who made special rules, who wore special hats, who took special names, who set up special schools. They tried to feed some of the hungry, take responsibility for their lives, their community. Tupac came after an aftermath. Child of these self-made, cut-down warriors, trails, memories, and sounds of death lessons, tattooed in the buildings and in the foreheads of his mamas and daddies. Big eyes, swollen, some deep truths before, brains got time to get in gear. Grows up out loud, sometimes wrong, but searching, not knowing that the word's been out for years. Okay, grow up, but quiet, sing, dance, do your week, CEO even, play ball. But that revolution thing, we don't do that no more. Any number of ways to like, get with, get over, get down. Fuck revolution, fuck thinking. Get yourself some money. Get with the game. Be a star, actor, rapper, athlete, or the new town clown. Revolutionaries don't get job security. They compete with rats for cheese and with strays for shelter after the big bullets make feet out of their knees. Tupac spelled backwards. Kaput, meaning finished, over, ended, done. 26 was, oh my God, so young. Jaws dropped, stopped in unbelieving anguish and surprise, and from dry eyes, tears cascaded inside. That was Ruby Dee. Ruby Dee was a really big actress. Just look her up. Really famous actress who like came up in the time of like a lot of the black and white films and all that. So she's been out for a long time. And she was on Def Poetry Jam, and she did that piece. And the part that hit me the hardest was revolutionaries don't get job security.
Yeah.
They compete with rats for cheese and with strays for shelter after the big bullets make feet out of their knees.
Yeah.
That line hit me so hard. And then you can see that in that 17-minute video of Tupac addressing those people about the plights. He was like, yo, we've been marching. Like, you could see him wanting for the Black Panthers to, like, be revived. You can see him like, yo, we had the right idea, and then we stopped. You can see how the anguish that he was a child of the people that were, that she said
actually
the
like doing it. Yeah.
Make feet out of people's knees. They cut them down. That's what she said, the cut down warriors. Like, the Black Panther Party is labeled a terrorist organization by Hoover before the KKK was. Like, what did they do? Rob?
Still haven't been.
Maybe. Like, you listen to the story of Assata Shakur, and like Common made a really great song about it, and Fox News and all them, like, they may try to like, oh, well, he was a fan of the Black Panther lady Assata, and he made.
And even in that 17-minute address, right? He's like, why are our heroes, why are our representatives comedians and athletes? And I mean, that's what she addresses right there too.
Yeah, she said that, like, you can do that. He said you can even be as like in that, you can even be a CEO even. Like, and so I said, I love this piece so much. I might post a clip. It said, okay, grow up, but quiet. Sing, dance, do your weed, CEO even. Play ball. But that revolution thing, we don't do that no more.
Yeah.
And so that right there hit me like, like, we can preface this back to like what he said. Tupac was like, when you watch that video, he was adamant. Like he was like, "Yo, what the fuck are we doing? This is like, let's go, let's get it, let's get it, let's get it." When you see that video, I can see the fear of white supremacy in America, because that was a what's the word I'm looking for? Not motivated, but radicalized. I guess what I have to say, radicalized. That was a radicalized black man with just cause. He was like, "Yo, I'm mad." Like Tupac shot 2 off-duty cops. I don't care what nobody say. Like they can say he wasn't a thug. You can say all that shit. You can talk about how he was misguided, his life ended. Tupac shot 2 off-duty cops because they was fucking with somebody, and they didn't have no right to.
Yeah.
And he was defending them and got off. Like, who shoot 2 cops and get off?
Yeah.
I don't care. Like he didn't kill him. He didn't shoot to kill either.
Yeah.
He shot to defend a black person. Like, I don't let nobody say no bad shit around me about Tupac. Like Tupac was down. Like everything Tupac said and did was from the eyes of imagine. And this is why I say imagine like a white supremacist. Imagine being a son of a soldier in the Confederacy and then you fucking losing a war.
Yeah.
You still gonna ride hard for what your dad and your granddaddy believe in. They still do that shit today.
Yeah.
Tupac was a child of the Black Panthers, who were who were a group that arose from really the aftermath of what happened, kind of sort of up to like King and them. Like when
it was like when all other options were taken, like we gotta take what.
Like it was like, this is what we doing. And then they broke into the Black Panthers broke into the Crips and the Bloods. Like people don't even understand that. Like a part of them did in certain areas. Like a Black Panther started the Crips, and then the Crips broke into the Bloods. Like people got to understand the history. The Crips started the riots in Watts because, to their core, it was always about, and it kind of still is. I don't care what nobody say. Some shit go down, like some real shit. Gangs call truces to protect their own. At the end of the day, when they feel like they're not in danger, that's when they fuck with each other. But when they know they in danger, they call truces and be like, "No, we not. No, we protecting our own." And that's what the Black Panthers did. They protected their own. They tried to start community gardens back in the fucking 60s before it was the cool hippie shit to do. They were trying to start community gardens, feeding each other in the community. They were talking about all this protection. Like, yo, we gonna protect you. Fuck that. Like, Black people, I'm pro Second Amendment because fuck that. That's exactly that's why I tell people, like, I like some conservative ideas because I'm Black. Like, yes, I'm pro Second Amendment. I want to have a gun to defend myself. Yes.
Yeah.
Like, there's certain things they do. I can agree with.
Like when like it's almost like you got to look at like when Baldwin went to Paris and shit is like when you get to look at America from the outside, you realize how fucked up it is. You know what I mean? Like, and that we think that guns are a right thing and that fucking human lives and rights is a left thing. You know what I mean? Like, it's like these are all just
Paris get fucked up in World War II?
What?
Didn't Paris get fucked up in World War II?
Yeah, but I imagine it was pretty chill when Baldwin was there. But no, you know it. I mean, and then I think it was the 86 address of the United Press was when he was talking about like how everyone in Paris and in Europe were so proud that they didn't have white supremacy, but all the Algiers people they're Black people. Like they just didn't have them around because they were all back in Africa making their free economic.
I know we have to close.
Sorry,
I know we have to close on that Tupac. I wanted to really read that poem just because if you haven't, like, we're talking about a 17-minute video that he posted, and it's just really honestly the same shit you've been hearing in news recently, but in 1993. So 27 years ago. That is 27 years ago.
Yeah.
That was a long time. That was almost 30 years ago, bro. That saying Tupac was 30 years ago sounds fucking weird.
Yeah.
But anyway, because I remember when he died. That's why I'm like, but it's really weird that it was weird that he died. But that poem, if you watch that video and you listening now and you watch the video and you listen to me do that poem, look it up. Ruby D. It's called Tupac.
Yeah.
And you read that, you'll see the anguish in his voice. Like she told it from the perspective of an adult, like who was older than the Black Panthers were.
Yeah.
Because Ruby Dee right now would have been like Martin Luther King's age, and Malcolm X and Medgar Evers and James Baldwin. The people who were like 10 years younger than them started the 10 years, a little bit younger than them started the Black Panthers, just slightly younger.
Yeah.
And so she told it from these poor babies type of, like, these were babies to her. Like, these are like nieces and nephews that have their younger sisters and shit, like the way her perspective was. And it literally fills in, like, I don't know, like you watched the video, the 17-minute video. After I read that poem, how does that like meld into like your perception of Tupac after I've read that and you saw that first and then I read that poem? How does that like change your perception of him?
Well, it's like, because like it's cool when you realize like how many big people, like, you know how Kanye West's thing is, like when my mom was like arrested at the sit-in there, when people were arrested at the sit-ins, and like Dave Chappelle's parents were like they're into, I don't know exactly, but they're very intelligent and they know a lot about Black history, and they imparted a lot of that onto him. You know, like how important having a base of history is into becoming confident enough to impart your will onto the global conscious. You know what I mean?
I will say this right now. This, I guess, I feel like we should wrap this up now.
Sorry, yeah.
No, it's almost 10:30 and we technically started at 7:30.
Well, I left to grab a baby, but
yeah, no. Kanye West. I don't know what his deal is. I'm not gonna act like I do.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna tell my perception. It's not reality, but my perception of Kanye West is a shucking, jiving ass, coon ass dude who don't give a fuck about nothing but selling records. And not Dave Chappelle, but D.L. Hughley said when he couldn't sell that bullshit, he sold Jesus to niggas. Like, this man saw an opportunity. Like, when he was younger, he was really pro-Black. You don't go from George Bush doesn't care about Black people to Trump is my daddy to all that other shit. Like, this man said Jesus walks. Like, that song compared to his new album don't mesh. Like, the old Kanye doesn't mesh. And then you think about it like, yo, did he change his views? Or is he like, do we really know Kanye's real views?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like Kanye started some shit. He said some shit. Like, there are certain people who are at a certain level. I don't think they just say shit and fuck up anymore. I feel like there's a whole team of people behind him that agree with him before he do some shit. Like, yeah, say this. It'll get you back into the fucking media stream.
Yeah.
And it'll get people listening. And whether all the Black people hate you or not, you're gonna sell some white fucking records that you never sold before. And then you come out with a bomb ass song.
Yeah.
Like, I miss the old Kanye. I love that shit. And then the rest of the album was whack. But that No More Parties in LA, Kanye was on a verse with Kendrick and sounded better than Kendrick in 2018. I was like, yes.
Yeah.
Or was it 2017? I was like, this is what we wanted. And then he got 2 tracks on that whole fucking album sound like old Kanye.
Yeah.
The rest was bullshit.
Yeah.
Poopity scoopity doop. Like, he's fucking with people at this point just to make money. And now that he's a billionaire, like, okay, you're a billionaire. You get it. Yeah. I don't know. Money makes the world go around. Money is
it's boutique high fashion imparted onto music. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's the dress made out of garbage. Anyways,
I feel like
let's put that on a.
We're gonna end this. I just want to complete this last thought. I feel like people say when his mom died, he lost his mind. I said no. When his mom died, he was finally free to be who the fuck he was. Like, there are certain things you have to be able to look your mama in the eye. And there's certain things that he's been doing that he could not straight up tell his mama and look her in the eye. Yeah. Now that she's gone, he's free to do what the fuck he want with no consequences. And I feel like people are like, oh, he lost his mind. No. He finally set his shit free. And so that's like how I look at him. Like, I don't fuck with Kanye. I don't think he's redeemable. I don't, because I don't think, first of all, I don't think he ever fucking fell off the trail. I think he's just selling his shit. And I don't like people that sell fucking
It's just
bullshit.
as bad as Candace Owens.
Yes, exactly. He's been selling his shit.
Yeah.
Like, oh, what is the Republican
Kanye
Party
has
doing?
a stinky boy pussy.
Like,
And I'll go on
first
record.
of all,
I'm just kidding.
yeah, no, he does. He does. Democrats, Republicans, left wing, right wing, same fucking bird. There have been atrocities that happened under Democrats, fucking Republicans, and they all just sat there. And then when it came time to a fucking
It's all
election,
just the American political system.
fucking
All
Nancy
of this
Pelosi
has
Chuck
obviously
Schumer,
happened
Chuck
under
Claus,
the American.
ass,
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah.
pandering ass mother. Like, that's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
Fuck accident.
That was the craziest thing I've ever seen.
We just talked about. And
okay, to go from silence to wearing kente cloth. That's the craziest. Okay, that's the craziest jump. But let's wrap. Sorry.
Yo, this has been the Way Out There podcast with your two hosts, the co-host, and / one producer.
Fucking we're on our way out. This is the Way Out There podcast. All right, so because we have it here now, I was struggling really hard, and while I'm speaking, something's gonna pop up on the side over here. There's gonna be a subscribe here and a subscribe here, and check out the playlist here. So this is the last 40 seconds because I was really struggling figuring out how to add a picture at the end that's 40 seconds long, and I fucking solved it.
Hey, that's
there we go. We just have it. We just have it in the stream. I'm sure there's an easier way, but every time I've tried to do it, I go to export from iMovie, and then fucking it it says it's gonna take a day and a half to import. So then I just upload the raw file straight to YouTube. But anyways, this felt a lot better. It's I don't know. I think last one I was really afraid to speak because I didn't know anything, and I'm one of those white guys who's been listening to James Baldwin for 1 week, and now I am. You say something, Jesus Christ!
Happy. I'm so happy. Like, people who are like he said, people who are just now listening to this podcast, right? Reese has actively seen me listening to shit like he said he just listened to Baldwin for the first time this week. He has actually seen me listening to Baldwin at work years ago. It's not even an exaggeration. Years ago.
I was like, oh, that's pretty cool.
And now that I'm like, the fact that you listen, you can't unlisten, you can't unhear what you heard.
Yeah. And
I like that. Like, now, if you ignore it, that's on you. That's on your conscience. But you can't unhear what you heard. Like, if you would have listened to like Baldwin years ago, and then all this shit happened now, you would be more upset right now than you are right now, and you're upset.
Yeah. All right. Shoot.
I hope you're upset. Deuces.